multiple forms, they have a misalignment. Continue like
Again,
Kali, you have to forget. Kali, you have to forget. Bhairava's own death is there in Bhairava. It is born out of pain. Bhairava is born out of pain by the script of none other than the Adi Shakti.
Jema. So, Anna, so here we are on the first podcast from Kaliputra Mission. First of all, you need no introduction. All the sadhakas and people who have been following Kaliputra Mission already know you. But still, for the people who are here for the first time, I'll introduce you. So, today we have a podcast with Shri Praveen Radhakrishnan. He is the founder of Kaliputra Mission, and he is guiding people in the sadhana path for last few years. He is a sadhaka for the last over 1.5 decades, and Praveen Radhakrishnan ji belongs to the Kapala Parampara. Most of you guys would have known about it already. Firstly, I would like to thank you for agreeing to this podcast, because most of the sadhakas who have been in the path of sadhana, who are in the sadhana journey, they are facing a lot of day-to-day questions on how to navigate this space. They are very anxious. They do not have access to someone who is able to clarify their doubts on a day-to-day basis. So through comments on social media, through the forms that we float around from Kaliputra Mission and various other avenues, they're trying to reach out to you. So this podcast is going to be your response to all their questions. And before we begin, I'm Raman Teja. I'm a sadhaka myself and author of the book Vajra. So by mass blessings, we are all able to now get the Jnana directly from Guruji. Anna, so over to you.
Bhairava Kalike Namostute. Jai Shri Brahma Khepa, Jai Shri Shama Khepa, Jai Khepa Parampara. Jai Ma. So good morning, and we are back on a new format, right? So this podcast related format that we are trying for the first time. So we've had more than 25 invitations now on third party podcasts channels. However, we never took it up because there is a specific reason for this, and I'll start off with that, right? And for that, I'll have to address the whole concept of Kaliputra Mission itself and Kaliputra, the term, right? So as we know, the guru of our entire mission, the one guiding us, is none other than Skanda, Murugan, Karthikeyan, Arbugan, right? So to explain a little bit about the concept of why we never truly took up a podcast with anybody outside, and why even if we tried to take it, it could never materialize. We've had hurdles. And even if we accept for a specific date, it will not work out. Somebody will get tied up somewhere and it will never happen. I'll tell you why. So there is a specific incident that is there in the folklore of Tamil Nadu, the Skanda Kshetra that you have come to today, right? So there is this debate that happens after Murugan has imprisoned Brahma. Shivan, his father, Mahadev, he questions him, on what grounds have you imprisoned Brahma? Why did you do that? He said, Brahma has forgotten the origin, Parampurul, Om. He doesn't know what it is. Then he is unfit to be the creator God, so I have taken over creation and I have put it in jail. I am handling it, don't worry. So Mahadev is like, Acha, so you know everything, and right now he's Batuka, right? He's a kid, and Mahadev, he knows, right? So Mahadev is at this point ensuring that in future nobody gets imprisoned by him. So for that, he's having this dialogue with Murugan. So he asks him, okay, you tell me, let me test your knowledge. Then if you're so learned that you will imprison the creator God, then I should test you, because you cannot be allowed to do whatever you want, right? Okay, you come. Then they both travel to a place called Swami Malai. And then Murugan tells Mahadev, see, you've come here as my Shishya now. The whole universe calls you Mahadev, the Deva of Deva itself, right? But you have come here as my Shishya, and if I have to give you any Jnana, what is the respect that you give Jnana is that it should only move from the Guru to the Shishya. It cannot simply be flown, right? Even in our ancient traditions, how did a satsang happen? A guru would simply come, sit down in front of under a tree, and he will start talking. People will gather with the intent to collect jnana, right? It cannot be for any other purpose. Jnana cannot flow for any other purpose. It cannot be commercialized. It cannot be packaged. It cannot be directed, produced, edited. Nothing will happen. Jnana will flow when the Shishya sits in front of the Guru only. This is one of the hurdles that Kaliputra Mission faced, which I realized later. So what Mahadev, coming back to the story, folklore, Mahadeva then tells him, what do you mean? I am Mahadev. No, you might be Mahadev, but you are asking me a question and I will not give you jnana unless you accept me as the Guru. Right? So what Mahadev does, okay, I accept you as my Guru, and he sits one step below Murugan. And at that moment, he is given the title of Shiva Guru Nathan. So basically, Kaliputra Mission, which is under the guidance of none other than Skanda, Murugan, has to follow that tradition. So any jnana that flows, even if it is worth nothing but a grain of salt, but if it is there in me, and if it has to come, it has to flow through, it should be to the Guru, from the Guru to a Shishya only, or somebody who accepts themselves as a Shishya. Until then, no matter how powerful you are, no matter how big you are, small you are, does not matter how extremely well known your channel is, or your channel does not have any viewership, it will not work. I might give you acceptance, but he will not. Right? So following his tradition, we have established this specific podcast in such a way that it is one of my Shishyas who has first got the right to pull me into a studio. And I believe that it is time to get into this specific format where we address people's queries in person, and respecting the Guru of our Parampara, Guru of our mission, none other than Skanda. We are following this flow of jnana from the Guru to the Shishya, and not from the Guru to somebody who merely asks questions. Mahape, he has that certain, if you look at Murugan itself, he has that certain bit of arrogance within him, that he says that I will never prove myself. This is his core tattva within Murugan. I will never stand in a race and I will never prove myself. However, if you accept me as your Guru, I will let everything flow to you. So, taking the guidance from none other than Murugan, we are launching this specific format where questions flow from the Shishya to the Guru, and Jnana also will flow. So this was the reason why we have met here. And incidentally, though you didn't plan it also.
Yes.
You did not plan it.
Yes.
Studio was available only on 11th, which happened to be the foundation day. Again, that also, we were all aware, back of the head we knew it, but we didn't correlate it. Yes. And I saw the moon 2 days back, and I knew Ashtami is coming, but we didn't again correlate it. So we are sitting here on Kala Ashtami, we are sitting on the foundation day.
We are sitting with her.
And let us introduce the Brahmanda Nayaki, Akhilanda Nayaki, right? The one under whom the Mahakala Bhairava has to attain Shunyata, the master planner, the one who orchestrated the Bhairava Nama on the algorithms, the one who set the algorithms ablaze with Bhairava Nama. She is here. And this specific Vigraham happens to be the first Bala Bhadra Vigraham that we made. And she has chosen the specific date to come out and give an appearance. Everything happening on this rather chosen date by none other than Devi. Yeah, so we are here now.
Great. So that's a fantastic, the Jnana started flowing already. It's a fantastic start to this podcast. And the way you explained it to us, like how Skanda, of course, very well, how Skanda has guided the mission. So this brings the concept of adhikara. So in a way that even to get the knowledge, the Shishya should first attain adhikara. So the identity of a person should not be that of his own self, but as a Shishya, anyone, him or her, right? Now, for someone who is beginning the sadhana journey, because typically if they are born in this kshetra called Bharat, somewhere within their blood, it is always ingrained. This concept of spirituality is ingrained already. The DNA is already existing. It's just a matter of exploring it. It's just a matter of understanding how to achieve it. So typically what happens is when someone starts to walk this path, like you said, finding a guru is not very easy. So people initially tend to first look to a deity to find a guru also. So they have their Ishta. So the first and the foremost category of questions that we have from people is, how do I know what is my Ishta? Because it's of course, they say that I like Shiva, I like Devi, I like Rama, Hanumanji, a lot of deities, because it's also about the stories that they hear while they're growing up, the Puranas, the kind of Kula Devata that they have, the grandparents or the parents praying to some deities in their home. So, how does one know that this deity is an Ishta, is their Ishta?
Bhairava is procedural collapse, right? He rises when what is set in a specific way by none other than Adi Shakti, through the Tattva that is Shiva, she sets up the entire Kalpa, she sets up the Mahayugas, she sets everything going. But when that collapse begins to come up, that is when Bhairava rises. And once he rises, he takes the Tattva of every single deity known to mankind and beyond. Once you surrender to Bhairava, he will take over that Ishta, the term Ishta, he will take it up completely. And he'll be it, right? And where does he get surrendered? He gets surrendered ultimately at the foot of Devi, right? So the path is very clear. Who is Ishta? If you started with Bhairava, it has to end with Kali. There is no human being on planet Earth who can deny this. If anybody calls themselves a Tantric, please understand that they have to be subservient to Kali only. Their Ishta might be Matara, their Ishta might be Ma Bhuneshwari, Ma Shodashi, it could be Ma Chinnamasta. All of them end at Kali. Begin from Kali and end with Kali. So Bhairava, generally, if you are getting attracted to this, first of all, please understand what is your action leading to. Why are you sitting and watching content on Bhairava? Why do you feel attracted to the term Bhairava? Because it denotes everything that your parents were not teaching you, everything that was not ordinary. Nobody spoke to you about Bhairava decapitating Brahma in your school. None of the audience members who see this video will have a single experience of them being told the story from their own grandmother or grandfather that Bhairava decapitates Brahma. This will not be there in anybody's memory, right? But this specific story has pulled you towards a specific deity's name. It means that he is just correlating and bringing everything into one specific crux, and he'll finally attain Shunyata at mass foot. Begin Bhairava Sadhana, go through the Yatana where you attain the energy body. That will be extremely painful because you're trying to crumble like 50, 20 years of lifetimes, and you're trying to crumble it into one energy body, completely attain Shunyata and become ashes. Make me an ash so that I can attain her, whose projection is the Trimurti. This is the entire Bhairava path. So don't be spending lifetimes in this confusion of who is my Ishta. You come here, you're watching this video, you're intently watching this video, right? That means Bhairava is your Ishta. And be ready, he will attain Shunyata. And after that, she is the only one you will see. Nothing else will exist. So Ishta related doubts, you should immediately throw it out. When the I exists, right? I Praveen Radhakrishnan, I Raman, that exists. Till then, you have what your mother told you, your father's stories, these all will exist. The I has to dissolve the moment you touch upon Bhairava Sadhana. When the I stops, history stops, there is nothing, no past memories, there is no stories, everything goes off. You have to completely surrender to Bhairava. If you don't do that, Bhairava Sadhana will never begin. Because whatever he says, all identified truth, all identified reality will get decapitated and destroyed. And I will then realign it, right? That is what Brahma's fifth head means, that I will decapitate all your ideology, all your learning, all your history, all your past, whatever it was, whatever you were doing for the last 50, 60 lifetimes, I will decapitate it, and then I will fill it with the tattva inside every deva. As he goes begging like a mendicant, begging for the blood, prana of every deva. What is prana of every deva? Is Kali. Kali is a Shakti within every deva which allows them to operate. It's a Shakti, right? That Shakti is filled into the Kapala and as he walks around. So, you have to first of all erase your ideology of other deities, understanding of other deities, because यहाँ पे decapitation हो रहा है. For example, if you look at Ramayana, it is Brahma who lands up at Rishi Valmiki's ashrama. When Ma Sita arrives there, he salutes her, which means Ramayana was written when Brahma lands and Ma Sita reaches there. All of this at that moment, when Brahma's decapitation is happening, has got detached. Everything is now wiped off and cleared. This state, direct path of realization, is Bhairava. So, Ishta kaun hai bolke, if you walk around, you are absolutely wasting your time. Surrender to Bhairava. And even in the topic of surrender, if I have to extend this question a little bit, as far as surrender is concerned, surrender, a term only is not understood in spiritual parlance by people. there is a story about Gautam Buddha. Right, so one of the rishis who wanted to, or a well-learned spiritual being wanted to attain mukti, moksha at the foot of Buddha. So he reaches his ashrama, sits down at his foot, spends some time, immediately starts shouting in joy and behaves like a madman. So one of the relatives of Buddha who had actually attained Shishyahood, he's become the Shishya of Buddha, who's watching this thing happening. He asks him, he came here, he spent 40 minutes with you and he is running around everywhere. Either he is a liar or you have cheated me. What has happened? Right? So then Gautam Buddha describes one specific incident. Right? Number one, when you told me that you want to become a Shishya, you gave me 2 rules. You are elder to me in age, so I should always treat you with X amount of respect. You gave this rule. Number 2, and I'll give you one of the specific reasons. If I am in the room with you, you should never ask me to go out. You should respect me. These sort of rules, you came to me with rules. Rules kahan se aaya? Gautam Buddha's, before he attained the state of Buddha, jahan pe un dono ka friendship tha, wahan. So he still identified with that state of Buddha, and that state of realization, which is the old self. It still is there. When the full surrender happens, when the man who came and attained moksha in 40 minutes, right? He came with full surrendering with no rules. Complete surrender. So when you say that he is my guru, there needs to be complete surrender. There should kuch khatakna nahi hai. Right? The guru is saying something, guru says that you do this. Right? Then you think that, but I read in this article that it is not that way. I read in this reel, I saw in this reel that is not the way to do it. When you have this is identified with your old self. So that has to complete surrender, means complete. Of course, in today's day and age, you go to some guru, likely his eyes are on your pocket. These sort of situations are there, agreed. Genuine gurus are maybe 1 in 100. Maybe 1 in 100 is still being, wishful thinking, right? Yeah. But provided you are finding that shanti within you, even without meeting your guru, you are finding shanti within you when you listen to him, then build the tattva within yourself to completely surrender to him. Complete. Kuch bhi question nahi karna hai. Then you will attain the jnana which is there in the guru in 40 minutes. But if you have an pre-identified state where you say that, no, our agreement is that you are my guru, but aisa treat karna hai mujhe. You should treat me like this because I have a qualification of, I have done UPSC All India rank 2 I am. So you have to treat me better than a simple bank clerk who's your Shishya. If you have this sort of identity, that Guru-Shishya flow only is not established. Complete surrender. Now today I would definitely have some topics in which my guru says that Ma Kali is to be worshipped like this, and I will have something else completely different. But the moment my guru ka subject aayega, to I will say even now he is right. Right? My own spiritual research and my own spiritual path might take me to a different path. Ramakrishna worshipped Ma Kali in a different way. Swami Vivekananda did in a different way. Right? But when he is with Sri Ramakrishna, he completely surrenders. So this is how you treat the guru in your life, and this is how you take up Bhairava sadhana also. The moment you think that this is my deity, I am going to him for higher states of jnana, you need to erase everything else in your mind, because that is what is the decapitation of Raman. If you do not surrender completely to the guru, which of course deity's blessing you have, you will find the right guru. Blessing nahi hai, to you will get screwed somewhere. Don't run after the guru. But if you find the guru and he is making sense within you, complete surrender has to be attained. Then the jnana will flow. Right? So what I don't know, the question was something else, but
I think this is the best part about this kind of conversation, where we are not restricted to just one line of thought.
Because Babaduka is one of her names. She if you pluck upon any of her topics, it will go like the tongue is out all the time. Jema.
Yeah, Jema. So now that the concept of Ishta is clarified without any room for doubt, there's no ambiguity anymore after your clarification that whatever is the Ishta, if someone is attracted towards the path of Bhairava, if they are watching content specifically made, which is centered around Devi and Bhairava, Ma Kali, so it is taken for granted that they have an opportunity to enter this path, but it is for them to totally surrender, not have any doubt, not come with their own assumptions and not come with their own comfort zone, and just surrender, walk the path.
So I would like to add a small point. Sorry to. One mistake I see people making is that they'll say Bhairava, they'll say Shiva, they'll say Rudra. Even in Shiva's multiple forms, they have a misalignment. So the moment you speak about Bhairava and you want to attain anything, which is what the entire answer I was giving you was about, that Bhairava bolte to Bhairava. Don't think that Bhairava gives only this. You need to go to Rudra for this. Then you go to Kailashanathan for this. Don't ever do that. Bhairava is a complete embodiment of Shiva's highest states, including his own death. Bhairava's own death is there in Bhairava. Right? Where is his death? At her foot. So complete surrender to this specific form is required. Any bit of doubt you carry within you regarding the Bhairava or the form of Shiva will completely destroy your sadhana. Absolute zero ho jayega. Right? And this could be controversial. Even the Vinayaka, all other forms of deities itself is within Bhairava. Right? So absolute surrender without any confusion. Right? And your asan becomes the primary Tirtha Kshetra for you.
Great, Chama. So this also, I'll have to circle back to one of the earliest videos that you have put on YouTube, where you explained that Bhairava is not an angry deity, because the moment people talk about Ugra forms of deities, be it Bhairava or be it Ma Kali, so there are some preconceived assumptions and also certain inhibitions that make people think that Ugra form is not supposed to be approached in their asanas at home, or there is a very specific procedure through which they have to be approached. So that video that you shared in the initial days of the YouTube channel, that clearly states that Bhairava is not an angry deity, but a disappointed guru. And that guru tattva is what makes him act in the way he acts. And Bhairava is a Shiva Shakti Swarupa. Because, but even though this was already mentioned by you in detail, I would like you to once again touch upon this concept, because it is very relevant right now. And for someone who is watching this for the first time, I think they'll have much better background if it comes from your own words about the Shiva Shakti Tattva and the Guru Tattva of Bhairava.
So see, if you look at Bhairava and his origins, it is born out of pain. Bhairava is born out of pain by the script of none other than the Adi Shakti. Right? It is her script. And he is also prey to it. Right? So he never wanted to fall in love. Mahakal never wanted to fall in love, never wanted to become a family man by definition, like we look at Shiva, Parvati, Skanda, Vinayaka. None of that he wanted. But it is her script that ensures that he goes through the pain of losing Masati. And during that Tandav, the body parts of Masati falling in different spaces, that is the first emanation of Bhairava. First, it is not that Bhairava decapitates Brahma and that is where the Bhairava Tattva begins. No, it begins when he loses Sati, Masati, and his mad quest for her, where he walks up to every single Shakti Pitha, wherever, even if just a fingernail ka tip hai, he sits there and worships her. So extreme alignment from not wanting to ever be near Masati or be near any feminine deity to becoming so subservient to Shakti that he will even worship her fingernail. So this itself shows you that if you look at within, now come to the other part, the Vedic part. You have Indradeva, you have his consort. Most of us will not even know the name. Yes. You come to Mahavishnu, then you have Ma Lakshmi. But here Mahavishnu is at the highest and Ma Lakshmi is at you could call a level kept as a consort. Right? Sri Rama, Ma Sita, side. Bhairava, and when Bhairava's subject starts, it is Bhairava worshipping Shakti. Not aside, not his consort. Look at how they are. Yeah. Right? This is his teaching. So this is something Brahma could never understand. Because if you look at Brahma's consorts, Brahma's consort. Mahavishnu, consort. Shiva, Parvati. Sri Rama, Sita side. Right? That is how you looked at Shakti. But when you look at this specific deity, that Mahakala Bhairava attains Shunyata at, it is Shakti kept at the highest. Right? So how does one worship the Shakti Tattva alone? That entire masterclass is Bhairava. Right? Is Bhairava an angry, disappointed guru? He's not angry, disappointed. He just shows the path to the one who keeps Shakti as consort alone. And he tells him, "This, she is not your consort, she is your maker. She is me." Right? So Devi ends with, okay, this is again going to be controversial, right? These are things that I am going to speak of in my life because that is my purpose. Devi ends with Matara, who is just a very subtle imagery of Kali only. She is extremely Ugra, extremely Soumya. All the works of Devi Tattva is there in Matara, but still smaller tongue, more Soumya. Even in her most Ugra form, you will find a little bit higher levels of motherliness. She goes through the entire cycle of mother, consort, everything she goes through for Mahakala. But when you come to Kali, you do not look at Kali as Devi alone. This is the first and foremost understanding of Kali. You look at Kali as Shiva. Shiva's femininity at 100% it's standing and Shiva's masculinity is dead. So it is Shiva in femininity, complete femininity and undigestible. Imagine Shiva, the Purusha Tattva is extremely calm, unmoving unless you provoke and you do something. Devaloka then gets decimated. Asuraloka gets decimated. Nobody is even able to provoke him. But Shiva's femininity, how will it be? You've seen women in your life, how reactive, the way they behave is different from the man, right? So Shiva as a woman is Kali. It's completely a different state which Brahma is unaware of. So the removal of the fifth head and then taking you through the entire path, ultimately landing up at her foot, the whole point of that removal of the fifth head is to ultimately give you the Jnana of the Adi Shakti. And it cannot be given by Brahma or anything where he is present. If you look at the iconography, Brahma is there till Ma Shodashi. He is represented as one of in the photograph you would have seen. Have you seen?
Yeah,
Brahma is there. But from Matara, the class begins, the master class begins. Right? At Ma Kali, it's only Mahakala Bhairava. Entire Devaloka is running off fully. Asuraloka cannot even understand what it is. What is this energy that is standing here? That is Shiva in his femininity. And that is the whole point of Bhairava. Whole point of Bhairava is Bhairava losing Ma Sati and then worshipping Ma Sati, which is the 110th name of Kali, 210th name of Kali, at the heights. It is not just my consort. One small consort that, yes, she was there, she went away, Shiva being the hero, Ma Parvati, Punarjanma Aga. It is not Bollywood. It is not a simple Bollywood story. It is that Shiva who lost Ma Sati, taking her and giving you the highest jnana of what she was. That is the Guru Tattva within Bhairava. So Bhairava only leads you to Shakti. That is the whole concept. Bhairava as an Ishta alone, if you do even for many lifetimes, no, it will be incomplete. You are not giving Shunyata to Bhairava itself. You have to give Shunyata to Bhairava and allow him to sit within you and worship Kali. Right? And I believe that even at the most popular locations where Kali was worshipped, there is a lot to be desired. The way we worship her and the way we are able to bring her and attain Shunyata with her in our asana itself. And that set of jnana, which allows us to now hold her, is slowly opening up now. Which brings us to our Ghar Ghar Kali, Har Ghar Kali, which is a campaign itself. Just like that popped up into my mind, I was sitting in front of our Moola Vigraham. So how do you bring Kali to every household? Bhairava. What does that mean? You should be fearless. Because you are approaching Shiva's feminine side completely without any, dilution. You think it is digestible? Yes, provided you attain the state of Mahakala Bhairava and you are surrender at her foot. This is the Guru Tattva within Bhairava, not just to teach Brahma anything at all. It is just to teach Brahma that everything that you visualize the feminine part is insufficient. This feminine, Brahma, Ma Gayatri, Ma Savitri, all fine, but there is a state that this femininity goes that is undigestible for you, Brahma. I will teach you now. Learn. Right? So this is the Guru Tattva within Bhairava.
I think, in fact, it led to much deeper concept because it's fantastic that you mentioned Ghar Ghar Kali, Har Ghar Kali, because that is a way of bringing Devi, making her accessible to a average individual, average sadhaka. So one of the biggest category of the questions that sadhakas pose in the initial stages of their sadhana is, what do I do at my asana? Because right now there are so many procedures because people from across the country, they belong to different sampradayas, based on which bloodline they belong to. So they are used to seeing different procedures being performed as part of Nitya Upasana, Nitya Sadhana, or even if it is a simple worship without any, let's say, any end goal, because the goal of sadhana is to slowly become one with the deity, to embody the deity's tattva. But then, when someone is starting in the initial stages, even in my own journey, so it was not an easy decision to pick my own path. Let's say there are a lot of people who try to make us afraid of this procedure. So they say that, oh my God, you're doing a mistake. Oh my God, you shouldn't approach casually. Even though our intent is not casual, the way we do it might seem casual as per certain procedures. So a lot of people ask, what is the way to worship? What do I do? So in this regard, of course, you have guided the team to place a Nitya Sadhana guide. It is available on the website for everyone. In spite of that, a lot of people ask, what should I do? Because they're not really able to come out of this fear of procedures being fed to them through multiple channels or through multiple sources or
Rising from your funeral pyre. So let's go back to what lies on the funeral pyre now. Can he hear somebody? Can he hear anybody's opinion? Can he be scared? I'm lying on the funeral pyre now. Can you scare me? Will I get afraid? I'm dead. I cannot even hear you. My ears are only burnt off. Right? There is no ear. There is no cartilage left. Nothing left. So how do you scare a dead body? You cannot. Right? That is where the answer lies. You must attain the state of the Shava in your asana. Right? And then she will speak to you. She will give you the guidance. She will give you the guts, which you said, they're afraid. That guts. It's a path of the Veera. And the Veera doesn't listen to anybody. You take the list of Veeras. If you list out, say, Shiva, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, he never listened to anybody when it came to setting up the navy. That mind should be there. So you should be fearless, absolutely fearless, and nobody else exists because you are a dead body who cannot hear anymore. This state should be there when you sit in your asana, and you should be surrendered to Devi for 1,000 days minimum. 1,000 days only she will exist. Morning till night, you will only think of her. And everything that you do, you will try to visualize her in that. This level of madness is sufficient. Koi paddhati does not exist. And and generally something I like to quote when people talk about paddhatis. So the Atma is placed into a specific body, right? We have a body. And I'll take the example of the body itself now. How irrelevant a specific written norm is when it comes to Kali, right? I'll break it into two parts. Number one, do you go to the gym?
Yeah, I used to.
You used to, yeah. So most of our audience also, I think, generally might be in the younger crowds and all, must have touched gym equipments at one point of their life, right? So the machine called lat pull down.
Yes.
They pull the lat because the muscle over here has to be worked, right?
For the perfect V shape.
For the V taper, yeah. So I'll take that example. When you are pulling down, this is the pulling action. If you grip the bar too tight and then pull, you do not activate your lat muscle at all.
Yeah.
It becomes like very low. Your lat muscle is worked very low. Whereas your bicep is activated. Whereas if you just hook the bar like this and don't grip it and pull, the lat muscle is activated to the maximum, and the bicep just goes for the ride along. So you're actually working your lat now, right? Both are pulling movements, but the results are completely different, right? So paddhati ends there. When the body itself is so complicated, the deity, Kali, above whom the rishis itself could not visualize, why do you think she is so limited that she will not listen to you, or you will not be able to pull her only because there is no paddhati? So this fear of am I doing it right is actually an insult to her. Right? The human mind, number one, you have people who don't want you to visualize her or don't want you to succeed because they want to maintain mastery over it.
Gatekeeping of sorts.
Gatekeeping. But you cannot gatekeep the Kshetrapala. Right? He is the gatekeeper of gatekeepers. That is why he lost the head. Right? Trust in your Guru. Complete surrender. Don't look at your neighbor. This alone can get you Kali. 1,000 days. Look at your Guru. What he tells you. Alone you listen. Don't look at 10 more gurus. Don't look at 10 more content. Many times I have people coming and telling me that I looked at this video and in that they say that Kali has to be worshipped by offering this only. Screwed. Screwed. right? You're still exploring that you're not attained shunyata in your asana at all. So don't look at people who tell you she cannot be attained. This is the first and foremost step. Bhairava walked alone. Devaloka did not understand. If Bhairava took the opinion of Mahavishnu, it will be a completely different path for him. If Bhairava took the opinion of Vinayaka, it will be a different path altogether. What does he do? He's alone. Right? He danced alone. The first cosmic Shava sadhana was with Ma Sati's body. He danced alone. He walked alone to every single body part. This is what the answer is. Attain the state of Bhairava. Be fearless. Don't look at 10 different sources. Complete surrender to the Guru. The Parampara will guide you after that. And who is the Parampara Guru of ours? Bhama Khepa. Which Paddhati did he follow? Right? Even today people are following a lot of Paddhatis and all, but Bhama Khepa, what Paddhati he followed? An avatar is, the deities take and manifest into an avatar for a specific answer that can teach the rest of the yuga. And Bhama Khepa, if you simply worship him and then go back to Paddhatis, then what was Bhama Khepa's message? It was that within you, I give you the answer. And what you do will not make sense to the neighbor at all. So don't look at the neighbor and then change your thing. So Adya Kali, her entire message to Ananda Thakur was this. I don't want everybody to come here, stand in this specific queue and worship me. I want everybody to worship me in their own asana, offering me what they can offer me best. This entire answer is here. Club that with Bhama Khepa, who did what he felt right only. Whatever triggered Devi Tattva within him, he did that right. He had never bothered about the rest of the world. The greatest realized Purohits and Pandits stood in Tarapit, but did he ask their opinion? That is what Devi likes. That is the only thing that can bring you Kali. You should be fearless and you should never explore. When you explore, you've already put yourself down. You're not a Veera anymore. Veeras are the ones who first jump into the enemy territory and start slashing the enemy. They're like that. They don't look around. Kya karna hai? Should I raise the sword or poke like this? Please tell me. Will a Veera ever say that? How do I use the sword? Should I slash the enemy like this or do I poke them like this? Will the Veera ever ask you that question? Somebody asking that question, will you even want to call them a Veera? So, mother of Veeras, who is the son of Kali? Vattuka Bhairava. What did he do? Decapitates Brahma itself. What is the Paddhati? What is the Paddhati of decapitating Brahma?
Brahma. So, the first action is Brahmahatya.
Brahmahatya. That becomes the path itself. Right? So, forget Paddhatis. Keep it aside. You are not able to learn Paddhatis. You have been birthed into a specific design where you are not able to see Paddhati, but the urge to worship Devi is there, but Paddhati nahi mil raha hai, which means that Paddhati karke aaye ho. Believe in this. You have already had lifetime spent doing Paddhatis. Now you are without Paddhatis. You're pathless, pathful, where you're born into. Don't listen to people who are actually in the path, born into a specific design. Unka identity is that I got a guru and I got the Paddhati. And they will celebrate that. And they'll try to pull you down because you don't have that guru and that path. So what should you do? Be the Veera. Have the confidence in the sword you hold and jump into the war ground. And be the red body also. That cannot hear anybody speaking. That is the only place she can stand. Right? If you have 101 opinions coming in and 101 doubts, the Guru Tattva is definitely not there. Guru hopping happens a lot these days because people have 10 gurus on social media, right? They look at one. The moment you look at somebody and say, ye bol raha hai, I'll do this only, you're gone. Right? Confusion. There is no adhara. You are baseless. Right? Bhairava Tattva should give you the ability to look at one source and just walk. Do not look at 100 sources. It will never work. Especially for Kali, it will never work. She wants the Veera. And everybody cannot worship Kali. So if you fall into the definition where I just told you, that you look at 10 sources. Aaj ye bola, usne wo bola. That is not a Kali Sadhaka. Kali Sadhaka is a Shava. And he is rooted in the asana. He will never look at anybody else. If he has accepted a guru, only the guru. Nobody else can give an advice or upadesha to Kali Sadhaka. That hut will be there in him. That is a true Bhairava Tattva. Jayama.
So, I think after this beautiful explanation of how a Veera behaves, because this is a characteristics of Veera. So, I think the one caveat here is that whether it is a Veera or in the battlefield or at his asana. So please don't mind me using his because I'm using it as a general term. It can be a he or her. Of course, we are not gender specifically mentioning anything. So let's say Veera at their asana or Veera at a battlefield. I think the one caveat is it is dharma, and second thing, the devotion. So in the battlefield, it is dharma that is at the highest. In their asana, it is devotion that is highest. Because without this caveat, whatever people do, if they just assume that just because they assume they are Veera, and because lack of procedure can also be understood as procedural collapse, wherein procedural collapse is just a collapse of existing procedures wherein new procedures take over. So I think the summary of your videos, if someone watches all the videos on YouTube, this caveat also will be easily understood. But I'm just putting it out so that people have more context, especially for the benefit of people who have come here recently. Now that this part is clear, that dharma and bhakti, all this is clear, and also that the procedural part is also clarified. One takeaway is the sadhana should be the central theme of life, and everything should revolve around sadhana, as opposed to life and sadhana being together, or even sadhana being part of your life.
If everything is not revolving around your sadhana, also sadhana should continue.
Sadhana should continue.
Level of that is the Veera, right? Everything is collapsing. टूट के बिखर गया, sadhana should not stop.
Yeah.
ये test है, right? She will test you in craziest possible ways. Ma Tara, Ma Shodashi test is different. Ma Kali's test, though, each yogini will test you. 64 yoginis will test you. And one of the yoginis is Pishachini. How will a Pishach test you? How will life be? You will, like, everybody around you will behave like a Pishach. Your boss will be a Pishach. Your friends will be a Pishach. Everybody, every possible interaction with Prakriti will be like interacting with a Pishach. Right? And each of her yoginis have the same Shakti that is there in Mahavidyas, but the Tattva, it cannot deviate. So I'll explain it a little bit more.
Yeah.
If it is Pishachini, she'll have the same strength of the Mahavidyas, but only in Pishacha Guna.
Okay.
And the testing will be like that. Imagine being tested by a Mahavidya herself, but the Guna is only Pishach. How will that exam be?
Extreme embodiment of that Guna.
Such a person will not think about Paddhati. Am I in the right path? ये तो कूद गया. Without a ship only, you will jump into the sea and the ship will automatically come.
Leap of faith.
Test you for 1,000 days, man. You have to get ready for that. If that is something that is going to fat gayi, to definitely you will find alignment happening to other Mahavidyas. Automatically she will push you to the other side, because she is ultimately the mother. Ready nahi hue ho. You're not ready yet. You do the sadhana of other Mahavidyas. Kali karna hai to bloody come with the sword. You look at her also with the sword only and say, test me. Are you sure that I am unfit? Test me. That attitude should be there.
That challenging attitude.
Veera, the definition of Veera with other Devis is different, and with Kali is completely different. Kali's yoginis only, the names are, people say yoginis, they think that for all Devis is the same yoginis. No. Kali's yoginis by themselves can power an entire town. One yogini, if correct sthapana is completed, an entire town, she will only be able to attain the state of the Grama Devta ki tarah baith ja sakti hai. Now 64 yoginis have to give you clarity, tick mark. Yeah, yes, tick, tick, tick. It's like your UPSC of the highest kind, because 64 exams you finish, then you land up at her foot.
Very interesting you say 64, because typically in engineering, in 8 semesters, there'll be around 64 subjects, because 8 subjects per semester, right? So India has a lot of engineers, so they'll relate to it very well. And another beautiful thing that you have mentioned is that now that this whole sadhana path is clear, everything is clear, and we are talking about the life revolving around sadhana. And one of the major themes of questions that we have is the things that are happening in life. Be it the environment that a sadhaka is placed into, or let's say a particular bloodline that they're born into, or the relationships with their parents, with their siblings, with their even the relationship at their workplace with their boss, or relationships with their partners. So I think it's a very broad theme. So to begin with, what should a sadhaka do? Because one of the most important questions is, people say, my mother is scared. It's not that they are scared, because that part is already clarified. They can't be scared. My mother is scared. My family is afraid to place a Shamshan Devata, or a Digambara deity, or Ugra Devata, even Ugra Devata. So, what is your advice? Of course, for people who have already watched your videos, they already know the answer. But now that we are here and the context is there, I would like to request you, what is your advice for someone who is facing resistance at home, especially for placing the yantras like photos or vigraha? So, what is your advice?
So I just told you about this that you are the Shava at your funeral pyre. And how many relatives does the Shava have?
No, none.
None. This mindset has to set in first and foremost, which means that everybody cannot accept this mindset immediately because you could be an 18-year-old kid. Now you're still figuring out life. You could be a 22-year-old kid who's just got your job. 23, 24-year-old who's just started career. You cannot simply run out of your house.
Yeah.
So what I'll do is I'll use my own example, right? How it happened for me. At 23, I left home and purchased a small flat, right? On EMI. So I just told you about this that you are the Shava at your funeral pyre. And how many relatives does the Shava have?
No, none.
None. This mindset has to set in first and foremost, which means that everybody cannot accept this mindset immediately because you could be an 18-year-old kid. Now you're still figuring out life. You could be a 22-year-old kid who's just got your job. 23, 24-year-old who's just started career. You cannot simply run out of your house.
Yeah.
So what I'll do is I'll use my own example, right? How it happened for me. At 23, I left home and purchased a small flat, right? On EMI. Not that I had truckloads of cash or anything. And that is where sadhana path began, right? So you take Krishna's example, right? Ma Devaki was in jail. Krishna was fighting Kamsa, right? If you ask Ma Devaki whether her son should fight Kamsa, what will she say?
Obviously, the answer is clear.
Right? So a family is never truly going to understand the Kali Sadhaka ever. This is the fact.
Unless they are also into the sadhana.
Very rarely,
Yeah.
Kali Sadhaks are born into full-fledged Kali Upasana wala family. It's very rare. Right? Usually you will be birthed into a bloodline which you have to liberate only. And you will find the maximum issues in that bloodline. Kali Sadhaks are born to liberate. They'll be like Krishna in the battlefield guiding not just their bloodlines, other bloodlines also they can liberate. That Shakti will be there in Kali Sadhaks. That is the main identity of Kali Sadhaks. You will be able to liberate many bloodlines. Right? So Krishna, like I've said, if Kali is the Godhead, Krishna is the attainable state. And if Krishna is the Godhead, Arjuna is the attainable state. So if Kali is your deity, 14 years of Krishna's after birth, he never met his parents. Leaving of the nest is very essential. Which means, my dear 16, 15-year-old kids, don't run away from your house now, the moment you hear this. A state will come when you can stand on your own feet. At that time, you will have to separate from the family and spend time in sadhana. And when you go back to the family, it will be for liberation. Like Krishna comes after 14 years and looks at Ma Devaki, she definitely asks him, why you didn't come for 14 years? Time nahi hua hai. Right? You separate from your family, attain the heights, and then you look back at them. They will never ask you why Kali and all that. Everything will be just smooth. They will not even have the mindset to ask that question. They'll just accept it. But till you are tightly wound in their design of that life and that family, and if they're resisting Kali, that means that you're supposed to leave the nest for some time. It is not an easy path. Right? Once you touch upon Kali energy, the burning starts. Because you have to attain the state of the Shava. Family will definitely not understand you. And like I've always said, every Kali sadhak is usually born in jail. Not the central jail. Karmically, it's a jail. Right? And that itself is an eligibility. Family will not understand you. Family will not be able to make sense of you. Because Krishna is the perfect example. Right? In the moment he was born, he lost his family. And Krishna is the 36th name of Kali. 37th is Krishna Deha. The entire Devaki, 620s, you will find Devaki, you will find Ma Yashodha, the next name immediately, Kunti, Gandhari. So, Kali Sadhaka must have the mindset of Krishna, and you should also understand that even to your enemies, you should have the Matra Bhav. Otherwise, you cannot attain Kali. It is not a lot of aggression. People think Kali means a lot of aggression. I will destroy this person. I will go outside, throw my enemy off. I will destroy my boss. That is not Kali. Kali understands that the worst possible human imaginable, usko bhi matra bhav se dekhna padega, because that is also created by her. Gandhari is also Kali's name, right? So Duryodhan pe bhi you will have to have matra bhav. So family ko to chhodna hi padega for some time. If family is resisting sadhana, usually then if you're still calling her, understand that she will put you separately. As a nature, well, she'll just switch on the cosmic army and destroy everything that's in her path and give you a separate space where you sit down and worship her. Family accepts your sadhana, that is different. Family does not accept, then you might have to leave the nest. Kali cannot be slipped in from under the door like the morning newspaper. She cannot be slipped in. She cannot be, I very recently some people spoke to me and I told them the same thing. You cannot worship her in secret. Doesn't like secrecy. Wo secret had to the rest of the world. She's Guhya, yes. She is Guhya, yes. But doesn't mean that you will worship her in Guhya state. See how she stands. Even if you're Mahakala Bhairava, she will stand on you only. You cannot keep her in one corner and say that, Ma, idhar main silently aapko worship karunga, then it won't work. Bhairava, yes. Bhairava will work. Bhairava sadhana will work for somebody even if they're trying to be secretive. Because he's that, like that. Ultimately he's going to take you to Devi. Silently, tumhare life mein what is the situation? He will analyze that. Based on that, he'll treat you.
Because of the Guru Tattva.
Guru Tattva. He just puts an umbrella around you and guards you in Brahma's vision and slowly takes you towards Devi. But yes, at Kali state, nothing can be secret. So family does not accept. There are times when people take Kali photos from me and 2 days later they text me saying that mother is not allowing. There is no anger that I have towards them and all, because that house cannot worship Kali. That is yet to be liberated. Yet the Bhairava is not there yet. So if you have Bhairava, you will be able to, that state will come where your family will simply not even question you. वो देखेंगे आपके Kali हैं, they'll be like, हाँ, yes, my son, my daughter is a Kali Sadhaka. Simple acceptance will come. Till then, protest hai. Any protest or any energy manifesting as a hurdle in your life, it means that she's pushing you to a different path. Loneliness is very important in Kali Sadhak's life because he is lonely. After Ma Shodashi, till Ma Shodashi, you will find all deities around her. Every deity is very happy. She's dressed in the most highest, most beautiful. She's in that state. Every deity is able to perceive Ma Shodashi. But from Ma Tara, there is silence. From Ma Tara, only Bhairava exists. Right? These are the two deities, more Saumya mother energy with Ma Tara. Any home can place her. But Kali, home is hers only. You can place yourself there. Don't try to push her in one corner. You will not last too long and it will be just a photograph. It will not have her Shakti. Right? And we had another part on that question.
Yes. So, see, the thing is, now that the nature granting adhikara to the sadhaka is a sign when they'll be moving out of the nest, they'll be able to worship her. That's first part. The most important part is like, okay, now that they're not able to, let's say, in this present setting, in this present situation, they're not able to worship in a way that is recommended by the Guru or by the Parampara. So people tend to ask, is it fine if I still take her name? Because to what extent is the yantra mandatory? Because the photo, the vigraha. So the typical answer that the admins from the Kaliputra Mission usually give is that photo is a yantra. Until you yourself become the yantra, it is very much recommended and also it helps in the path of sadhana. But in cases, let's say, people are still having this urge and they're not able to place the photo or the vigraha, what is your advice for them? Can they continue the Nama Japa? Can they continue? Because many students, especially the 20s, 21 who are still in hostels or stuff, they message saying that they're opening the photo in the phone during sadhana. That's all they can do. That's everything they've got. So what is your advice for people like this? What should they do? Should they wait it out or should they continue this? Because in Bhakti Marga, the Bhakti is at the highest. So should they continue? What is your advice to them?
I would tell them to hold that urge inside and not reveal it to anybody. Right? That is the womb. That by itself is a Garbhagriha. That urge to worship her unrevealed to anybody, inside you carry that pain that will birth the photograph, idol, everything in your life. And yes, the cosmic bulldozer will switch on. And you will find that your life is slowly getting aligned. She will keep putting markers here and there, saying that, yes, I can hear you. I can hear you. It is coming. It is coming. And they will find a house one day. Right? Trust in the timing. You're 16, 17, 20, 21, hostel mein ho. One day you will have a house. Right? She will give it to you. Till then, whatever you can, however you can, worship her. But have that urge, andar usko ekdam volcano ki tarah rakho. Let it be a volcano inside. It will manifest in the most brilliant household where you can keep her. Of course, keeping the idol is a completely different completely different. Idol, if you place that, house is a temple. Right? You are living in the temple. It's not a house anymore. The four walls of that house only is more powerful than the biggest kshetras if you keep Kali in that house. And without Abhay Mudra, Varda Mudra, it is like, it is a volcano. And you need to absolutely play ball with her, and that's a different state altogether. But if you cannot keep these words that I just spoke right now, it is going to increase, inside many people, it is going to increase the urge to keep. When I say, because Kali Sadhak by himself or herself doesn't realize that they are a Veera. It is like Hanumanji's eyes are closed, right? After the...
He doesn't know his own power.
Yeah, he doesn't know his own power. Most Kali Sadhaks are like this only. They don't know their own power. But when these words that I am speaking right now, that do you want this volcano in your house, they actually say yes. But they can't keep. Us urge ko keep it inside like a womb, like a mother carry that urge within you. Let carry Kali, the desire for Kali within you. One day it will come. That day you can go mad. Right? Till then, whatever you can. Just keep doing it.
Yeah, to the best of their ability.
Chhota sa photo rakh paoge, karo. Know that I want to do better.
Yeah.
Knew that I wish, when Kali, just a short story, Kali Kavach is so strong that it can even stop other deities' abilities to manifest anything there. That strong she is. That is her state. She's so powerful that in the Mahavidyas, even the rishis could not imagine beyond her. Stop kar degi. Stop. Anagna. If you see in the series of 680, 380 to 670, Anagna Rekha. So the limit, Anagna Rekha simply means infinity ka line, hai na, infinity ka line. So if I say that this is where infinity is, this line is Kali.
Because beyond that you don't see.
You can't see. Yeah. Because Anagna Rekha, bad. How much should this person see, she decides. Anagna Kusuma. Anagna Mekhala, she dresses with infinity. She is infinity itself. Digambara simply means infinity. She is dressed in infinity. So believe in her ability to give you a small room, man. Believe in her ability to give you a small room and make it her temple. But carry that like a mother. Carry that urge to have Kali in your house like a mother carries a child. It will birth. Right? Don't discuss that with anybody. Just have that, enjoy that pain of not having her. That will give you her. Because once she comes, it's a different thing altogether, and it is absolute addiction. But I would also like to warn, just because you're bored right now, do not jump and take an idol home. Especially if it is Pran Pratishthit by a realized Kali Sadhaka, that from day one only that house is expected to be on top notch. That is top notch kya hai? Again, Padati? Nahi. Addiction. What is Kali is only offering? Addiction. What does she take? Addiction. Like him. If you can take addiction and offer her addiction, completely life is around her. I do not take pleasure in my cigarette. I do not take pleasure in that alcohol. Usme jo milta hai, that high, that also I want to get through you. That level of devotion is the first day se wo begin hona chahiye. Only then Kali will come. So understand that if she has not yet come to your house, wo addiction nahi hua hai. Probably there's an exam that you have to spend a lot of time running after. Probably there's a girl or a boy in your life. You have to put a lot of effort into falling in love and getting married, building a house. A lot of that requires a lot of effort, where you'll have to place her a little to the side and then look at that. If you do that, your house and you, everything can get destroyed. When she leaves, nothing can protect you. Kali leaving a bloodline is like, she just sends you into that cold storage, right? So she is protecting you. You're not ready for it yet. You don't have that photograph, you don't have that idol yet, because you cannot fully devote to her yet. And the day it comes, everything just falls in and everything becomes distasteful. That means it's time to bring her. And she's only taste after that, right? Everything should be her. This state, when it comes, she will come. Until then, whatever you can do, chota sa photo, whatever, do it.
Great. It's very interesting that you mentioned about intoxication as a concept, because there's a lot of questions. There are a lot of questions regarding this concept of people being addicted, let's say, to cigarette or to alcohol. People talk about lust, where they're not able to deal with it in a way that they feel guilty for liking a certain person or they have issues in relationship. So because this is a very broad concept, and regarding the substances, of course, you have given a great advice that people should submit the urge to get intoxicated. The ability to get intoxicated also should be submitted to her, at her feet. You have to place it at her feet. But then when it comes to relationships, it's much more complex, because when it comes to Digambara deity, unless a sadhaka identifies totally with their, they accept their identity, they might not actually begin the sadhana journey or find any progress in the sadhana journey. But the process of accepting the identity involves indulgence. So many people have a doubt saying, why do I have this feeling? Let's say, why am I attracted to a partner? Or let's say they have a bad experience from a relationship. So they ask, does that karma impact their sadhana? So things like this, it's a very deep, it's a very complicated bunch of questions. Complicated in a sense that they require a lot of, let's say, context. But what is your advice in general when it comes to relationships for a person who is into sadhana, and also for a person who is feeling guilty for having a natural emotion towards a certain partner, or let's say natural feelings that are normal for a human? So what is your advice?
So you need to first understand the basic difference between the yogic path and the tantric path. Right? The yogic path requires you to detach from every feeling itself and uproot it from the root itself and say, I am not that feeling, I am me. The feeling is external. Right? My feeling to admire a woman who could probably be my future partner is not me. I am detaching from it. I am not that. I am the Atma only, and forcefully telling me that I am the Atma by fullness and the body and its feelings, I am rejecting it. This is usually there in yoga, which forces you to get rid of every mild feeling within you. You cannot have any urge, any kind of desire, nothing. But the tantric path is indulgence, right? So for this, you need to understand Krishna. Krishna never detached himself or kept himself away from any kind of indulgence. So he will indulge in, if it's a war, complete indulgence. And how did he indulge? With a smile. Absolutely living it. Right? How would he interact with Maharada? Indulge. How would he interact with Arjuna? Indulge as a teacher. How would he indulge with Duryodhana? As a teacher who's not able to convince the Shishya, like that he would indulge. So in the tantric path, you need to completely indulge with the intent to renunciate. So you can indulge.
Okay.
Which means my 20-year-old, 25-year-old, 30-year-old guys who text me saying that I'm unable to overcome lust. Why should you overcome it? Then why is it there in you?
Yeah.
If you're saying that lust is bad, or anger is bad, or greed is bad, why did the deities place their Atma into a body that can feed all of this? So is the deity wrong? Aren't we telling the deity, Ma, you placed me into this body which feels this 10x, 10, 15, 20 feelings. Then by default, didn't you reject her creation itself? You just rejected her creation.
Yeah.
And you cannot reject her creation and then tell me that I need to ignore this. Only then I am. So this is the whole concept of, Sri Rama bound by his dharma to such an extent that he had to say bye to Ma Sita. Right? Then Ma herself coming and saying that I will indulge in everything and show you. I'm still at the heights of dharma. Right? I am dharma itself. I am dharma. Right? I am dharma. By indulging, I do not lose anything. So indulge with the intention to renunciate. And how do you renunciate? Ek bar indulge ho gaya. One time you get angry. After that you will not get angry anymore. It will fall off by itself, like Bhairava's skull falling off. Kashi is there in every facet of life. Kashi is not one state of being. Kashi is there in your intoxication. Kashi is there in your relationship. Kashi is there. Every facet of your life you will indulge and the kapal will fall. Was Bhairava able to immediately renunciate the skull?
No. After 12 years of tapasya.
Yeah. So that is the concept. So 12 years of indulgence with the skull of Brahma. Bhairava himself indulges. In Brahma, he indulges in everything that was Brahma, takes the prana of every deity in the Devaloka, every asura, everything he indulges and then renunciating that. So this is Tantric path. Tantric path does not allow you to pretend to be a realized being. It makes you become a realized being by attachment, indulging, and then saying, I'm done with this. Next. This is Tantra. So the body becomes a yantra. If you look at the left-handed path, you have Maithuna, you have Mamisa, right? All of these are things that you cannot, it's not for you to simply offer at your altar. It is for you to indulge and renunciate. If you do not indulge, what are you renunciating?
Yeah.
If I do not know what a car feels like, and I'm sitting under a tree and telling you, I don't want the car. What do you mean? What is the car? There is a thought process. An engineer, a man who stitched the seat, a man who engineered the engine, a man who sold it, an RTO inspector who checked it, who gave you a license. All of this is Devi's conscious manifestation. You indulge in that too, and then you say, I'm done, bye. I don't want the car anymore. That is Tantra. Yeah. And not by pretending to say that I do not need a car at all because I am Shiva. Shiva is the greatest mendicant of the cosmos, not by renunciating without experiencing. He never renunciated without experiencing. He is the experience. Right? So you experience, renunciate, move off, walk off.
Yeah.
Don't pretend that I don't have it. So my young audiences, especially it is this 16-year-olds, 18-year-olds, 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds who think that lust is bad and all that. No, that's a specific feeling. Use it for dharma.
Yeah.
Do not become an animal who looks at every woman and jumps on the woman. You look at every woman and only with lust, that is a problem. Right? And why is Kali Digambara? Why she is not adored with the greatest saris and all that? Is that it is lust that is the pathway to go to higher states of realization, because it's Kama. She is Kameshwari. Right? So every time you look at a woman, if lust is the only thing that is coming into your head as a 40-year-old, that's a problem. In Kali path, you'll be thrown out.
Yeah.
But at the same time, as a 20-year-old, as 30-year-old, 35-year-old, 50-year-old also, if you want to find a partner and you allocate that specific feeling that is generally called lust towards finding your perfect partner with whom you can have the best life, why is it wrong?
Yeah.
Why is it wrong? It is never wrong. Then why did Mahadev have Masati, and why did Mahadev have Parvati? The beginning state of understanding Ma Parvati itself, the Shiva itself is Shiva, Parvati Devi, Skanda, Vinayaka. That's a family.
Parivara.
It's a parivar. So instead of being an asuric person who completely is indulging in that alone, you look at a woman and the only thing you feel is lust. There is a problem. But for somebody who's trying to propagate their bloodline, the lust is not a problem. You have a partner, you have a spiritual partner, lust is not a problem. Don't try to pretend you don't have it, and don't try to pretend like you're a stone. Then you would have been born as a stone.
Yeah.
Don't question Devi's intent in placing your Atma in a specific body that can feel these feelings, anger, hope, whatever it is. Indulge, and renunciate. Right? And especially when it comes to the topic of women, men and women, lust, the opposite gender. If you are attained it, but you're unable to renunciate, Kali path will never open to you. You have to renunciate after attainment. So you a husband and a wife, you spend life together, you spend time together. After a state will come when the husband is still running after, or the woman is still running after other opposite genders, Kali path will not open. It is a problem. Because you're unable to realign it, and you're indulging and not yet renunciated. When the skull falls, only Kashi comes. Kashi is the 208th name of Kali only.
So technically, whether it is a materialistic aspect or whether it is a aspect of sadhana or aspect of life, unless you have attained something, you can't sacrifice it. So that's the underlying message.
What are you sacrificing?
Exactly.
Why do you have the urge to attain it? That itself is Devi. That's Kameshwari.
Yeah.
The desire. 697th or 98th name, people in the comments probably they can mention the right number. That is Kali. That urge itself is Kali. You're rejecting the urge and saying it is not me, then don't call her.
Yeah.
Right? She will come, Krishna is a state of Kali, Sadhaka, who's at the highest, who has attained everything and then renunciated and teaching. Krishna, the sannyasi, is not dressed as per a specific grid. He has the best clothes, walks around everywhere, laughs all the time, he's smiling all the time, indulges in everything, dance, music, spends time with the cows, spends time with the king, everything. So indulge. Devi's bhoga is indulgence. So Tantric cannot pretend to be a yogi. Tantric is a yogi who indulges and renunciates. It's the highest form of yogi, not understood by people. Yeah.
So your detailed explanation, it gives rise to many tangential questions. So the first thing is, now that we are discussing the part of the concept of lust, the concept of relationships, And you've also mentioned that Devi is Digambara. She doesn't dress in a traditional sense. But then when we go to iconography of Devi, karma, the karma becomes her skirt, right? So, and also when it comes to this lust and relationships, many people ask about the karma. So, how does the karma impact their sadhana, or how does the karma create a rinanubandha? Basically, so for the lack of better words in English, I'm using these terms. So, how does one escape the rinanubandha from a, let's say, bad relationship? Many people, especially women, tend to message the admins and message the uh, fill up the forms saying that they've been into relationship for so many years. The intent was to get married, but for some reason it did not work out, or either the partner abandoned them or the partner did not fulfill their part of the promise. So, how does one navigate this tough situation? Uh, what is the karma and the Rinanubandha, the link with this situation? And how should one sadhaka, be it a woman or a man, how should a sadhaka deal with this situation?
See, when it comes to Kali, always go back to the dead body on the funeral pyre. Without going through the experience of what you have caused, be it good experience, bad experience, bad does not exist, but still, whatever is the experience, you have to live it, completely live it. You have to experience it, burn through. That is the only way you can exit Kali. I mean, otherwise, Kali, you cannot even look at her. She'll take bhoga of the negative pain. She'll take bhoga of the terrible relationship. Because it is also a state of consciousness that is manifested as Kali only.
Yeah.
Right? So, if you have been in a physical relationship with somebody, then the Rananubandhana is very deep.
Yeah.
Right? Because the body that is a yantra has connected. Right? So, it is not easy to simply exit it, and you cannot time it. That is the point. You cannot time when you will exit from it. But in Kali path, if you begin the sadhana of Mahakali, it is going to be intense, and in the 1,000-day span only it will burn through. And it will come to a state where your head is chopped off and replaced with a completely new being. So that has to come by itself. There is no timetable. Right? So, like Vinayaka attaining a new identity itself completely. That head chopping off is a new identity. The Pretasana, 110 to 114 you will names. If you check Pretasana, Preya Preta, Preta Bhumi Kritalaya, the one who dances with the disembodied spirit. All of this means is that you will attain a new identity. What is a Preta? Once you're dead, your Atma is out of your body, attains a state of the Preta, and then becomes a new rebirth and being born into a higher bloodline. All of this happens. So, attainment of death while living. This is Kali, which means that after you're burned through the pain of that terrible relationship, you have to live it through. Then you'll attain the higher birth. While living in the same birth itself, that is the beauty of Kali. You don't have to wait till your funeral pyre comes in. So, pain hai, stay in the pocket with a smile. So, Vigyan Bhairava Tantra tells you that you sit in the pocket of your terrible feeling, you sit in the pocket of anger, you sit in the pocket of pain, you sit in the pocket of trauma, andhari baitho. Don't try to escape it till it slips off. Which is nothing but the proper burn, the well roasted body. To put it simply, I use this word all the time. Are you well roasted? Right? In the Smashan Kali sadhana, generally the guru's main job is like the Dome Raj, right? When the body rises, the body is burning, the body sometimes will stand up or will try to rise. The Dome Raj pushes the body nicely.
Body down, yeah.
Lie back. Lie down, no. Let it burn completely. This is correlated directly with the Vigyan Bhairava Tantra, which says that stay in the pocket of that feeling. Stay in the pocket of that intense pain. But a small correction that Sri Krishna gives us with a smile. Entire Leela of Krishna is that he never loses his smile. He's burning intensely. Ma Gandhari is cursing him that you'll die alone. Smile.
So instead of questioning why this is happening, never question, never complain.
Body has to lie there and burn. Kali sadhaka to, like Prakriti is putting you through something. You look around and you know that this is not an easy fix. Lie back, stay in the pocket, Vigyan Bhairava Tantra, stay in the pocket, burn. How? Krishna gives the best technique possible, smile. And it will be over very fast. Because when you smile, at moment you are attaining that satisfaction of that feeling, right? You are in that and you're satisfied. Immediately you will be like, next. That is how you exit fast. So if you're in a physical relationship, you were in that and they've left you, you're burning through, stay in the pocket. Every moment, force yourself to be in that pocket. A normal non-sadhaks will tell you, come, okay, go for a trip. Go to the mall, do some shopping. You try to trick your brain into exiting that. But Kali is dress only is karma. Ranadu Bandhana is a clothing.
Yeah.
Ranadu Bandhana is karma. Agami karma. As you live through, karma sticking onto your body, it will never leave you. So what should you do? Sit there, allow it, don't try to exit it by flimsy means, by buying your favorite sweet and all that. Sit in your asana and burn through it.
So that feeling has to be totally experienced.
Domraj.
Burning the karma means that you go through that emotion. Let's say, be it 5 stages of grief, as people call it, whatever it is, you can't escape the feeling itself. You have to live through the feeling.
You have to accept that the feeling is there in your consciousness right now. Sit there and burn through it with a smile. And it will be very fast. The exit will be very fast. Why do you smile? You are smiling because you've realized that it is something.
It doesn't
karmic.
affect you anymore.
No, it is karmic.
Yeah.
It is mine.
Yeah.
It is not somebody else's. People generally suffer a lot because they say that it is not mine. Yeah. Somebody else's is there. Why am I experiencing this? It is you. The experience is you. Smile through it. It is very easily said, but try it. With Kali Sadhana, it will be very fast. It will burn off very fast. She also gives you experiences very fast. In 1,000 days, so she'll complete off your life.
So technically, the opportunity to go through the karma at an accelerated rate is being provided by her. So it is up to the sadhaka to either embrace it or run away from it and go through the longer part.
Run away though, it's like you half-burnt body ran away. You go to the nearby hospital and put the medicine and get yourself patched up and continue life.
Again.
Kali, you have to forget. Kali, you have to forget. Kali, the proper, well-roasted body, and the Kali Sadhana's guru's only job is to push the body back into the funeral pyre and hit it nicely so that it is well burnt.
Okay.
Right, that is the job of the guru. So, when people come to me with trauma, you can easily judge it. Generally, Kali sadhaks should not take therapy.
Okay.
Right, you do not seek external comfort at all.
Yeah.
Because Kali path is Smashan Kali. That is a name, main name. Smashan Kali is a main name. So you want her burned through. If generally I suggest some people to take therapy also because I feel like they're not ready for Kali yet. So I will tell them, okay, you take therapy.
Yeah.
If you tell me that Kali hi chahiye mujhe and I'm
this is the path.
Sit down, let it burn with a smile.
Anna, so picking off from the last question. So now that you've explained all about the relationships, the karma, that how one should indulge with an idea to attain something and then sacrifice, right? And not to question what is the, let's say, not to question the deity, why they're facing through, because every emotion that one goes through, especially in the path of sadhana, is to accelerate the karmic burn.
So that you get to her.
Exactly. In order to reach to the state of Kali, to reach the higher states. Now, there is another aspect to it because one popular category of questions is related to Swarnakarshan Bhairava, the Rajasic Guna, the highest form of Rajasic Guna of Bhairava. So, when people, let's say in the initial stages of life with materialistic goals, with materialistic endeavors, they want to achieve, they want to prove something, they want to reach the highest. Because even as per Krishna himself, he says that in everything Shrestha, I'm there, right? So they want to become Shrestha. They want to achieve this highest form of success in career, or get a great partner, or get a great son, or anything materialistic. So in your own, let's say the vidhi that you've released for Swarnakarshan Bhairava, these things were clarified, but yet many people ask a lot of questions regarding this one particular category, where the line of questions goes like this. So they start with how many Ashtamis, like, what is an Ashtami in the first place? Let's say, is it Krishna Paksha Ashtami or Shukla Paksha Ashtami? What is the difference? Should I do 3 consecutive Ashtamis, or can I give a gap if I'm traveling and stuff? So because you've already answered the procedure related questions, so all these procedures don't really matter as long as the Bhakti Bhava is at the highest, or as long as the devotion is at the highest. But still, when it comes to going through the karmic cycle, going through the suffering and experiencing, and still having an urge to achieve something, so many people ask, can I worship Ma Adya and Swarnakarshan Bhairava parallelly? because it might seem conflicting in the first glance, at the first glance. So what is your advice for people who are into Swarnakarshan Bhairava sadhana? How should they navigate through this? What should be the mindset so that they achieve? Of course, you've already answered it saying that you achieve and then renunciate it, but maybe a little more detailed advice from your side.
Right. So, Vatuka Swarnakarshan Bhairava, Vatuka Bhairava ultimately sits down as Kala Bhairava. Then there is a higher state of Mahakala Bhairava, who is the rishi of Mahakali itself. He is addicted to the Kali Nama. So that gave us the Kakara Adi Kali Sahasranamavali. So this is the entire Bhairava path. So right from Vatuka all the way till Mahakala Bhairava, the entire faces keep changing as per Devi's different forms. He keeps on changing. So we are not going into each thing. We are making it very clean. So Vatuka is unbridled, uncontrolled, intense energy of Shiva just bursting through, right? How do you, as a simple sadhaka, now directed towards your desire, how do you know what is your entire actual desire? So this specific energy, it transmutates into one form called Vatuka Swarnakarshan Bhairava, who is just considered as that exceptional groom. That man, the mother-in-law, the daughter, the entire street is like, wow, what a man, that young man, so beautiful, so brilliant, right? This specific form of Bhairava allows you to, without any effort, directly when you start worshipping Vatuka Swarnakarshan Bhairava, you are directly worshipping the societal accepted standard of an exceptional man. You directly project him there, and not Vatuka alone, who is just energy blasting. He could be anything. He could be a warrior. He could be anything. Vatuka, that shit is anything. You cannot transmute it, and you by yourself, when you're worshipping Vatuka Bhairava, you cannot position him in this section alone. So Vatuka Swarnakarshan Bhairava allows you to position him into that exceptional groom alone. That young man who is about to, who is the pride of his family, who is the pride of that in-laws, who is the pride of that entire street. That state of Bhairava, Narayan Bhairava. Narayan Bhairava as the heights of manliness, the heights of beauty. Right, among the Trimurtis, if you say what is most beautiful deity, everybody says Narayana. The entire Devaloka is his fan of his locally, right? So Narayan Bhairava. So it is making it easier for you to not by yourself transmuted Bhairava, Vatuka Bhairava energy into your desires, rather directly go to that form of Bhairava, which is manifested highest states of that societal desires. The Sundaramurti part of Shiva. When you worship Vatuka Swarnakarshan Bhairava, however, the catch is that a lady, usually when I say a lady, they get angry. They text me saying that I'm not a lady, I'm a Shishya. Shishyas. This happened. When I gave an example saying that a lady had asked this question, she got angry and she texted me saying that don't call me a lady, call me your Shishya Gurudev. Why you didn't say Shishya? So Shishya. In Delhi satsang, she had said that she has desires of tremendous wealth, like 1,000 crores, 2,000 crores, right? That specific thought process does not have any space in Bhairava path. Bhairava doesn't indulge and sit down at that higher states of wealth alone. He is again pushing you towards moksha only. Vatuka to Mahakala Bhairava is the path. So he doesn't sit in 10,000 crores. His Shishya is Kubera.
Yeah.
Who goes to jail also. Who gets imprisoned also. Right? So the Shishya desiring for wealth beyond his means gets imprisoned.
Yeah.
So do not fix 10,000 crores as your goal while worshipping any Bhairava form. You've set yourself a goal that you are free of the chains of wealth. You're free of that that quest that I had to put all of my energy into making money so that life is better. Right? If your monthly expense is 1 lakh, he'll give you 1.5, 2 lakhs.
To keep you comfortable.
You can continue in her path. This is the purpose of Vatuka Swarnakarshan Bhairava. It is not 10,000 crores. 10,000 crores chahiye to aayega, jail bhi aayega.
Yeah.
Kubera went to jail also, imprisoned also. Then again Bhairava has to come and rescue you. But if you are walking in the path of Swarnakarshan Bhairava, which is another than Vatuka itself, your desire should not be obnoxious wealth. Should not be obnoxious achievements. Right? Because renunciation part will be very difficult.
Yeah.
If you accumulate 10,000 crores, that is like how many families' livelihood? That much karma also has to be burnt. So Bhairava will only give you that much. That is sufficiently enough for you to come out of the chains of being dependent on that specific tattva. Right? So number one, Vatuka Swarnakarshan Bhairava helps you to transmutate Vatuka energy correctly into attainment of societal standards of wealth, which will remove the chains of being bound down by the desire for wealth. That's all. Do not desire for something that will have the jail part also. Right? That will not work with Bhairava at all. Bhairava only looks at Devi. The faster you touch and tick mark, I need 50,000 a month to survive, I have attained 2 lakhs, done, next. That is the Vatuka Swarnakarshan Bhairava path. Right? Number 2, since he doesn't give you the 10,000 crore wealth, or doesn't give you the world's most beautiful woman as your wife, or the most handsome man in the world as your husband, people generally worship him for all of these desires, right? What does he give you? He gives you the perfect karmic spiritual partner. Right? So you do not specifically tell him that I want a man like this only. I want the most famous actor. Don't tell him that. Just worship, and if it is a specific desire of attaining a groom or a bride, do not ask him for that type. Don't ask him anything. He knows. That energy knows what is perfectly enough to take you through correctly and get you to the final destination, and not put you somewhere in between where you're trapped. Right? So don't give him specific goals when you are sitting in Vatuka Swarnakarsana Sankalp. Ask for the best for you. Karmically, with the end goal as Devi. Whether you are a Swarnakarsana Bhairava Sadhaka, Vatuka Bhairava Sadhaka, Kala Bhairava Sadhaka, if you are not worshipping Kali, it is incomplete. Because as Mahakala at the highest state of being addicted to Devi Nama, he says that she is Kala Bhairava Bhogada. Right? She is the one who takes all bhoga as Kala Bhairava. She is also all the bhoga that Kala Bhairava takes. She is Kala Bhairava Kamini, which means that the Kala Bhairava's entire, the kama towards attainment of everything that is within Devaloka, attainment on giving you something that you are desiring for, everything is again Kali. Kala Bhairava Bhogada, Kala Bhairava Kamini, Kala Bhairava Yogastha. The highest state of Bhairava path, which is Kala Bhairava, highest state of Bhairava path, where Bhairava sits as Bhairava, is again Kali. Right? So, whatever be the Bhairava form that you're worshipping, if you do not have Kali attached to it, it is incomplete. Bhairava is a Tantra Guru of the Tantra Marga. And what is Tantra? Tantra, the body of Tantra is Kali. And he only teaches you what is Tantra. You call yourself a Tantric and you're not understanding Kali, you definitely have many lifetimes ahead understanding Tantra itself. Kali is Tantra. Right? So your second part of the question, which was that Swarnakarshan Bhairava Sadhana I'm doing, what about Kali? At least a sthava every day, keep on reciting, even if you cannot do it in your asan, take sankalp and recite it as on your asan, walking around, do it, recite. That is the right way to manifest in any Bhairava path. Kali should be there. Because ultimately this is how they will end it. That is how he will come to Shunyata. So you give him Shunyata. You direct the deity that this is my goal. During my journey to Kali, allow me to tick mark this. So that this body, when it ultimately burns off, there is no daughter cribbing that my father did not do this for me, my son did not do this for me, my wife did not do this for me. Ye sab tick mark karke 20% excess of what they desired, I can go towards Kali. This is the whole purpose of Bhairava Sadhana. It is not to become again another Kubera. It should not be a goal. Jail to confirm ho jayega. Jail means like suffering.
Yeah. So the goal itself should not be specific. It should be about
Kali.
attaining a state.
Leaving
Attaining
right.
Exactly.
It is leaving right with societally accepted standards of abundance. It need not be the richest man in Chennai.
I think abundance is a very beautiful abstraction of the entire explanation what you have given right now. So abundance in every walk of life, be it with respect to relationship, career success, wealth accumulation, having a great progeny, or whatever. Abundance is the keyword. So Swarnakarshan Bhairava is going to grant the abundance to a sadhaka who is putting efforts in sadhana, eventually with an idea that they have to rise to the state of Kali. Because
a question I receive directly in my inbox quite regularly is, I am doing Vatuka Bhairava Sadhana. Should I do Swarnakarshan Bhairava? It makes it easier for you. Because that state of consciousness that Bhairava has attained and given a form called Vatuka Swarnakarshan Bhairava, it is going to tick mark your entire wealth and the karmic part of your wealth.
So that you don't come back again.
Transmuted the energy of Vatuka and put one sankalp on him, saying that when a deity is bursting out at such ferocity where he is going to decapitate Brahma, do you have the strength to transmutate that energy towards your to the attainment of societal wealth, societal abundance? You might not have it. So there the form is there. That is why you should do that particular form sadhana, and it is a white dog, right? Have you seen white dogs? They are very beautiful. In fact, our Rajapalayam breed, which is called the king of the Indian animal, king of Indian canine world, it is the most beautiful looking dog. Right, you cannot find such a beautiful dog. When in a championship show, 50 dogs are standing, 50 Rajapalayams are standing, people become transfixed. It was like that. And Swarnakarshan Bhairava's Vahana is a white dog. So whatever transfixes and makes a society look at you and say, wow, that he'll give you. End goal to Kali rakna hai. Vatuka, generally, if you see the photograph that is used, it is Vatuka wandering. That is the kind of photograph people usually worship for Vatuka Bhairava. This gives you more purpose, because 99.9% up to society you'll be in some role, right? Either tick mark kar lo. So Swarnakarshan Bhairava spend 3, 4 years, 10 years, 20 years, entire life also spend worshipping Swarnakarshan Bhairava with Kali.
The next life, at least they attain
next
all
life
these
might
things?
not even be the last day of your life. You might just recite one Kala Bhairava Ashtakam and khatam ho gaya.
Accelerated.
Because it's all Bhairava at the end, right? Exactly. And usually after 3-4 years of Vatuka Swarnakarshan Bhairava sadhana, automatically your mind will fall on Kala Bhairava, automatically, because Kali will pull you towards that state. Ho gaya hai, aa jao. So 3-4 years is the maximum. But if life feels like you have a lot of prana left within you, and that Vatuka prana you want to have, which will be absolute burnout. Not everybody can sustain. Mars energy will be intense. If you're able to handle that, then probably even at 50, 60, 70 also you can do Vatuka Swarnakarshan Bhairava sadhana. Not everybody can do it. If you can, keep it. Do it.
As long as there is a natural pull.
Astrologically, you check your charts, like if you're really Mars dominant and all, you can probably push your bloodline to such an extent that next 10 generation only don't have to worry about abundance.
So technically that bloodline
Next
is
bloodline,
liberated.
grandson might take up Kala Bhairava sadhana.
So again, still the same prana continuing. So it's very interesting that you mentioned astrology also in this answer, because especially when it comes to Swarnakarshan Bhairava sadhana, the Vidhis especially, people keep asking, should I do it in Shukla Paksha Astami or Krishna Paksha Astami? Should I follow the Astami Thidi as per the time it starts or as per the time it is at sunrise? Because there's too many technical questions people get into, especially when it comes to astrology. The typical answers the admin usually gives is to follow the Paddhati they have been following in their family. Let's say certain parts of the country, they follow the Thidi as per the sunrise. So that Thidi of the day is considered a Thidi as at the time of sunrise. Some people follow much more, let's say, when the Thidi is beginning at a certain point and ending point, only that part is considered the Thidi. So what's your advice to people who are, because they're kind of worried? Of course, the answer is already there, to not worry about procedure. But then what is the role of astrology as a Jnana, let's say, in the path of sadhana? Not just about Thidi or Astami, in specifically these two things, but in general, how does astrology, let's say, impact, or what is the importance of astrology for a sadhaka?
It is good to know your dashas and mahadashas, antardashas and all that, just to have a mild hint of what is going to happen in the next few days of your life, next few months, next few years. How is it going to be for a Swarnakarshan Bhairava sadhaka or a Vatuka Bhairava sadhaka? It is fine. But for Kala Bhairava sadhana, I have told you that you go through an entire different state in sadhana itself, where astrological charts will not make too much sense to you anymore, because the energy body that is surrounding you, the body itself, is a completely different being altogether, and it is not in the control of any specific chart. Right? You are trying to accelerate through 40-50 years worth of lifetimes. Then what chart can you fix? Because charts are specifically, the science of time is astrology. Astrology is basically science of time. And what is time? Kali. What consumes time? Kali. Right? So you have to surrender all these specific astrological doubts. But good to have a look at your chart and understand what are the specific planets that do fire you, so that when those kind of sudden energy bursts happen, you know what is happening. It is good to know that. Never reject astrology. It is especially the position of Ketu in your chart. It makes a lot of impact in Kali sadhana, because that shows that do you have the potential to attain the state of Pretasana in your living body itself. What is Ketu? It is headless.
And also the warrior of the Smashana.
What does warrior of Smashan mean? It simply means that you are attaining Pretasana while living and replacing it with a new head, like Vinayaka, and you're completely different man. People who have had near-death experiences come out of near-death, this is Pretasana, right? And you can also imbibe death while living. Again, Pretasana, 110 to 114 names of Kali is completely about Pretasana. Basically, where you sit as a Pret and attain a new body, a new mind, a new head, right? So, check out your position of Saturn. How Saturn is a main thing for you, a main planet for you in Kali sadhana, because she wears karma, right? How much karma can you burn while living? That decides how much of Kali sadhana can you progress with. Ketu, how capable are you to attain that new head, right? Because he's headless. And how capable are you to attain a new head? This is determined by Ketu. Do a self-study, but never get addicted to these.
Don't get carried away.
Never get carried away. Unless, astrology is your profession and you want to get into that properly, then you can. But Bhairava energy, once the energy body is transmuted to Bhairava energy, you will find that charts don't truly align to it, and everything is under her control, right? Because even the sun has a shadow. That is Saturn. Sun doesn't know that the sun has shadow, and she sits in that shadow, right? Saturn. Her energy, her planet is Saturn. Something that even the sun, which is called the planet, the king of the planets, doesn't know about himself. That is where Kali sits. So yeah, don't get bogged down, too addicted by the charts in Bhairava path. Good to know with the Shas. Yeah.
Also because a chart is not just about the placement but also about the interpretation. And because she's Mati, I think that a lot has to do with the state of the person who's doing the interpretation. So if the astrologer himself is a sadhaka or herself is a sadhaka, I think that's a different story. But then just looking at a chart, in a very generic sense, may not work for a sadhaka.
Self-study is the best for us.
Yeah. Instead of depending on someone.
She wants you to know at that moment alone, you'll learn and you'll walk off happily, smiling. Haha, okay, this is what I am. Yeah. But as opposed to going to somebody else who's in a completely different state, who will just look at your chart like this and give you 10 opinions, self-study for a sadhaka is the best way to look at your chart. Yeah. Learn, nowadays you have good channels on YouTube itself, right, which can tell you one planet in a specific house. What does it mean? That alone you learn. Astrology cannot be discarded.
Exactly.
But for highest state of Kali sadhana, you will find that only few planets you should look at. That will tell you, like Ketu in the 8th house, born for Tantra, right? And born for occult, born for the Smashanic subjects. Somebody like that is made for Kali, Smashan Kali sadhana. Like this, everybody can do a self-research on that instead of depending on somebody external.
Great, Anna. So now that you have mentioned about the Thidis, the astrology aspect of Swarnakarshan Bhairava sadhana, people also have this urge on how to reach you, because you've given a direction that after 3 vidhis, after 3 sankalpas of Swarnakarshan Bhairava sadhana, so many people they try to reach you. And also some people get agitated or frustrated, or they try to get panicky about the situation. So the standard recommendation from the admin team is that they simply have to wait for every 11 days before approaching again, or send a voice note in some cases, or write an email, write a message. But don't give up on it. Just keep trying to reaching you out, because the sheer volume of the messages that you get is very huge on a daily basis. But then my question is more about the mindset that one should have, because when they're expecting a certain response from a guru and they don't get it, sadhakas might feel disheartened, or let's say they might feel discouraged. So what is your advice to people, because we are talking about Swarnakarshan Bhairava sadhana?
So the bija, it will reach you when the deity deems you fit for it. First understanding. So does that mean you are an unfit sadhak? No. It simply means that the fertile soil is not there yet. Right? I get a lot of messages in a single day, but not everybody, maybe not even one person is asking for bija every day.
Okay.
Right? So I know if you're able to reach my inbox, this is the answer. If you can reach my WhatsApp inbox, of course you join the group, from there you ping me and you take the bija directly from me. Right? But that urge and the nimitta for it should come naturally. And you do not get a response. One time you asked, 10 times you asked, 2 months you're asking. That means you simply continue your Nama Japa for one more Ashtami. 11 days minimum Sankalp. You might even do the Nama Japa alone for next 5 years. No problem. Don't consider Nama Japa as an inferior part. Till you consider the Nama Japa as inferior to the Bija doesn't make any sense to you. This is the first thing. Because purely with Nama Japa, you can go to the highest states in sadhana. And especially for the Kali, the Rishi of Kali sadhana gives that answer. Ka. Kali only you don't have to say. You just say Ka. It's Kali. Right? So you want
Kakara Varna Sarvangi.
Kakara Varna Sarvangi, Kakara Varna Nilaya. He keeps on describing her as all things to do with Ka. Right? So naam hi nahi chahiye. Just Ka. Syllable only is deity. This confidence you should have when you're doing the Nama Japa. Don't think that Nama Japa ho gaya hai. Now Bija kahan se milega, and you keep looking at the Bija like this, you're weakening your sadhana. You don't get it? No problem. Continue. This confidence that even without the Bija, I am absolutely in Bhairava state only, sufficient.
I mean, it's very beautiful because especially for all the younger folks who are into superhero movies and like specifically Avengers series, they will remember a conversation between Iron Man and Spider-Man. So Spider-Man has a specific suit from Iron Man. Iron Man gives him a suit, very specific high-tech suit. And then Iron Man observes that this fellow doesn't use it like with responsibility, and he takes it back. And Spider-Man goes out to say that, without the suit, I'm nothing. And Iron Man says that if you're nothing without the suit, you should probably not have it. Right? So this is the relation between Nama and Bija, right?
Only eligible for the suit only.
Exactly. Because if you're nothing, you don't deserve the suit. So as long as a sadhaka thinks that they are not, let's say, equipped enough, or they are not, let's say, having all the right sets of ingredients to progress in their sadhana with just a Nama Japa, maybe they will not.
Yeah, the Bija goes waste only.
Exactly.
You cannot force a Bija out of a guru and take it. It will have no use. So you cannot put it into a grid again. Again, what if you have to continue for 6 more Ashtami with the Nama Japa alone? Are you saying the Nama is weak? Yeah. Right? All this is a test. Right? 10 people, 20 people will text me in a day, but hardly 1 or 2 will reach for the Bija. Right? And if I see the word Bija in text, I will give it.
Definitely you will respond.
Reached. They've come there. So 3 Ashtami khatam karke aaye hain, to 100% Bija milega. And after that, don't wait for the Bija kitna der karne, never ask that question.
Because Bija is for life.
Bija is for life until the Kapal falls off by itself and you are like, mere paas hai, promotions hai, sab kuch hai, aur bhi mil raha hai. I'm getting more too, but Kala Bhairava, I want to sit down. That state comes, that is when you start Kala Bhairava sadhana, and that directly you take the Bija.
No need to do now, okay.
Directly. Kala Bhairava to like it's the final state of Bhairava state. Uske upar to Kali only can give you. Mahakala Bhairava state, Kali only can give you.
Yeah.
Right. Uske baad to Kala Bhairava sadhana and Kali has to go hand in hand, intensity, and you will find Kali Nama going higher and higher and higher, and Bhairava Nama, you might get shocked. And you might think that I'm not even calling him once a day because he has taken over. That is when this becomes Mahakala Bhairava state. It is subservience happening naturally. That is you. That is like what like few in lakhs will be able to attain that state and give that bhoga to Bhairava itself. Bhairava takes bhoga.
Now, when it comes to, let's say, the Bija, of course, it is now clarified. So, when it comes to the Swarnakarshan Bhairava and Adya, especially when it comes to the Asan, there's a popular category of questions which ask about how many, let's say, photos of one deity can I place? So, of course, for the Adya Kali, you have given a general guideline that she has to be the highest in the puja asan, wherever they are sitting in their asan. She has to be the highest, the biggest frame. In one particular video, you also mentioned that even though the photo itself is not big, at least the frame has to be bigger. You've given multiple options to people who follow all the videos would know by now. But there's an increasing number of questions on how many photos should I place. Should I place one photo, multiple photo? If I have Swarnakarshan Bhairava, can I place Mahadya? Or if I have Mahadya, can I place Swarnakarshan Bhairava? So this kind of, let's say, confusion is there. And second thing regarding the Naivedya. Let's say the Bhog offering. If I do 2 sankalpas together, first question is, can I do two sankalpas together? Can I do Swarnakarshan Bhairava and Mahadya sankalpa together? And then if I'm doing 2 sankalpas, should I offer Bhog separately? or should I offer together at once while I'm doing this thing? So how do you advise these people? Because at certain level, all of us have passed through this phase of ambiguity, this phase of confusion, and then honestly speaking, there is no one-stop solution for all these questions. They have to approach the guru and get the answers. How would you advise these people about sankalpa and the bhog and photos?
So I will go into a short story, a real life story. Again, I don't want to say a lady and get into a shishya, right? From Delhi satsang, she asked a question. This was the last question of the day. She has a very popular form of Devi. She has that proper setup in her puja griha, and now she's like completely going mad over Kali, Adya Kali, like our Adi Mahakali form, right? And she's feeling guilty. She asked me, I feel guilty about keeping or reducing my Devi's form to a smaller form and then keeping Adya. At the same time, you have told me that Adya Mahakali always has to be the biggest frame. What do I do? How do I remove this? Or like, number one, I don't advise on removing. It has to come within you. That confidence is not inside you that now I am not able to remove this photo and place Ma. Then you're not ready yet.
Yeah.
Nobody should advise you. Nobody is going to advise you and tell you that remove your photo and keep this one. Right? It has to be like that. Veera, that is the first step of Veera. Right? I see only Ma Adya Mahakali now. Kali. That is the only thing for me. Then though naturally you will not have any problem. Discussion hi nahi aayega. Right? But when she asked me this question and she was also not very happy with my answer, she texted me later and said that aise bol diya aapne about her form. I'm not telling you the name of the form. I'm not.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I was like, I'm going into silence. She went into silence for a week after that, threw off her phone, everything, because she wanted to get an answer for this. And what happened was she was one of the volunteers with the Delhi satsang. And after the satsang, they had packed off all the items, you have the bottles and all that we use for the satsang. They had all packed and put everything into her car, into her boot. And her question was about, her Devi form is this size. I cannot keep a bigger form. I feel guilty and all that, right? And she gets a call after the silence period is all complete. She gets a call from one of the other volunteers who asked her, where is the banner of Devi that we keep for satsang? It is in your car boot, and the banner is a huge one,
Very big.
That has already reached her house. So the answer has already come. If you truly wish to worship me, I have to be the biggest. And how did she come? She came in at a size, her entire puja griha, if she keeps, it'll be like
It's covered. Yeah.
That big the banner is. And she gave the answer. She didn't want me to give you, but she gave. So if you want to keep Kali, she has to be the highest. Whatever be the form of Kali you're worshipping, call her Adya Kali. This is a trick. The moment you place the term Adya and tell her that Adya, you are the first. Whatever be the form of Kali you're worshipping, put the title Adya. It's a title for her. You are telling her that in the Mahavidyas you are here. Even the rishis could not imagine beyond that, which means you are Adya. Yes, all of them are Adi Shaktis and different forms, all the Mahavidyas, but inke upar they could not imagine. She restricted it, right? Which means she is Adya. So if you have to place her, you have to place her there only. You cannot put a new Dasmahavidya chart and place her in middle, right? Can you? No. So Adya has to be the biggest in your Garbha. That and let it come naturally. Till you do not have the guts to keep her at that stage, don't do it.
You're looking for external validation.
Don't ask any.
That is a problem. That's a problem.
The body is lying on the funeral pyre and asking, should I burn now? Should I burn this finger also? Should I burn? No, you have to get burned completely. Only then you keep Kali. Right? And Kali, though, always call her Adya. That is a salutation that this energy absolutely loves it. Because you are a realized person. You have understood the crux of it. You have gone through many lifetimes and understood this. Because there is nothing beyond her. And every time people or a sampradaya or a parampara or a set of people start invoking Kali, at that state where she is in the Dasamahavidya, beyond that, in the astral realm, an energy manifests. That has happened for our mission. And that is why it is uncontrollable. Can anybody simply stop this form? Even if I am killed tomorrow morning, if somebody types Adya Mahakali, don't you think that the form will come up?
Yes.
Do you think it is without her permission?
Of course, nothing is without her permission.
What is the one single distinguishing factor of our specific parampara, our specific sampradaya is that we are mad about Kali. We only say that she is the highest.
The khapas, basically.
No, beyond Khapa.
Yeah.
Beyond Kappa, this specific subset of that runs behind Adi Mahakali, we get mocked for it. Many times people say, "Arey, kya bol rahe hain? He's nothing." But she says, I like it. And in the astral realm only it has begun to change, and this form has started taking power. Now you can find her everywhere now. This specific form, which is in a simple man's garbhagraha in a simple house, is all over the
internet.
All over the internet, and it can't happen just like that. The deity likes it. Yeah. Deity says, yes, this is me. Right? So you have to allow that energy. Until you do not allow that energy, you cannot, there is no slipping under the door with Kali.
Yeah.
Break the door for her. Tell her somehow come in.
Take the roof out. Yeah, yes, not just the door. Yeah.
Kuch remove kar do, lekin tu aaja. That is the only way you can bring Kali. Until that confidence doesn't come, ye bada photo kiska rakhna hai, chota photo kiska. I will observe people, just extending a little bit. I observe people very intently when they have conversations with me. That is why I tell people not to have conversation with me, because that is better for you. Because if you slip up and reveal identity crisis where, for example, if I'm speaking about something on my channel and somebody is texting me about it and they say that when you visited the specific kshetra, it is Matangi, it is Madurai Meenakshi, it is Valli Devi, I will observe very carefully that you have to say that, which is also a form of Kali. That is very important. Right? If you say Kamakhya, you should also say one of the names of.
Yeah.
So you say Ma Tara, one of the names of Kali. Chinnamasta, one of the names of Kali. The way you communicate about Kali will tell you everything about her presence in you. The true Kali Sadhaka is the one lying down over there and cannot see anything other than Kali.
Yeah, only thing visible is her.
When you communicate with me on WhatsApp, when you communicate with me in person, if you have other forms that you're pushing beyond Kali, there is an energy mismatch. This is not a disqualification. It means that probably it is not yet probably time for you to.
Yes.
Find out whether you're doing this. Yes. That is a good way to disqualify yourself so that you're safe.
Yeah. In fact, this whole lens of looking through where people think that, this is bad or good, or because there's nothing like good or bad in this path. End of the day, it's just that certain energies are conducive to the sadhaka at that point in time, that stage in time, based on the karmas that are pending. And then once those things are taken care of, naturally the progress is towards her.
Burnt body.
Yeah, technically. And now what about this? Okay, now that you've beautifully explained the why the concept of placing her at the highest should happen, what about this sankalpas being taken in tandem? Let's say on Ashtami they start Swarnakarshan Bhairava, and the following Amavasya they start Adya Kali Sankalpa, because many people do it. And they still have a doubt. That's the problem. So if they just do it and continue, there is no problem. But a lot of people, they ask, should we do it? Can we do it? Is it allowed to do it? What is your advice to such kind of questions?
So Sankalp is a promise to devote that entire period, that entire time, that entire state of consciousness during that specific period to the deity only.
Okay.
Can you do for 2 deities and devote to 2? Here only the answer is there and no.
Yeah.
So with your Nitya Upasana, which you have taken a sankalp for life. So if I am taking Nitya Upasana for till the last day of my this specific life and beyond, I want you. Right? This I have taken. With this I can take a sankalp for Bhairava.
Yeah.
So that also has to continue, this also has to continue.
In fact, you said the Nitya should go before the sankalpa. So technically they should do the
Nitya is your Ishta.
Complete. Yeah. And then do the next.
Then again if you take a sankalp for the Ishta only, so Nitya and your sankalp can go hand in hand. Right? By definition, it is like putting 2 swords in the sheath. It cannot happen.
Yeah, at once.
It cannot happen. Do not even think of that. Right? It's a very wrong thing and it's a mismatch of energy. Number 1. Number 2, Bhairava should be the major crux of your sadhana for first few years. Ma Kali could be secondary. But that it's a very beautiful state when you begin to fall in love with her, and slowly Bhairava will, you'll find that he's attaining shunyata. If that is happening, congratulations. You've done it. He is surrendering to her now. This is something you should watch out for. So how do you transmit from Bhairava sadhana to Ma Kali sadhana is when naturally the Bhairava, the amount of time you're spending on Bhairava Sankalp, Bhairava sadhana reduces. Naturally. This is the word. Then it is happening. He's attaining Shunyata at her foot, and he himself is transmuted to Mahakala Bhairava. Enjoy that. But that will come naturally. Till then, both go hand in hand. 2 sankalp of the same deity does not work. Nitya sankalp plus another sankalpa of any deity you can do. No problem.
Okay. And now the another set of questions when it comes to sankalpas, right? The bhog. So let's say if someone is doing the Nitya Sadhana and they have a sankalpa, many people are asking, in fact, this is one of the very popular questions. Should we offer bhog twice? Once for the sankalpa or once for the nitya? Or once like agarbatti should I place 2 times? Dhoop should I give 2 times? In fact, many people are asking the importance of dhoop and agarbatti and let's say nitya bhog and stuff like that. So what's your advice to these people? Because the volume of questions is staggering actually. It's a huge volume. A bhog, and also is it one bhog for sankalpa and nitya, or let's say one agarbatti for sankalpa and nitya, like, because there is a general misunderstanding, or let's say general ambiguity with regard to the padhatis that are followed for sankalpa and the nitya.
So this is again an indication of not yet having touched upon the energy of the deity yet, right? So the bhog is external yet. It is physical. It is being offered ritualistically. Where rituals end, Kali begins, right? Because Krishna walking around the battlefield is bhog for Kali. Krishna experiencing and drinking the breast milk from Ma Yashoda is Kali. Both sides. Kali will sit with the inside the person opposite you and enjoy you, and you will enjoy Kali through you. This is how actually Ma will take bhoga. Bhoga priya is like that.
So the indulgence of the sadhaka, that experience itself is a bhog.
So the sign to watch out for is your dependence on bhoga, external, offering some nuts and fruits and all that will begin to reduce. But your sadhana and the intent for sadhana will not reduce.
Yeah.
Sit there every day, but you will realize that she is not sitting there for those naivedya that you offer externally, but she is sitting through you and consuming through you. There are forms of Kali which we cannot offer any naivedya at all. They will only take blood of the sadhaka itself. This is that. We're not going to go into depth of that.
The depth of it, of course.
Because Ma is Rakta Homa Priya only. She will take the Homa of blood.
Rudira Priya.
Rudira Priya, lover of bloodline, which means your entire blood ka karma, blood ka rana bandhana, everything she takes as bhoga. So true Kali energy, if you touch now physically, nothing will be offered. This is true Kali energy. The day you were no longer offering anything to her physically, and life only is samarpit, and you understand that you're helping your entire bloodline attain mukti, that is Kali's true bhoga. Right? So you walk as Krishna. That is how she takes bhoga. Every experience, negative, positive, from our level of understanding, negative, positive, pain, intense laughter, all of that is Kali taking bhoga. Until then, she will not switch on at all. Kapala Bhairava will lie there, trying to push you into that stage, where she has consumed multiple realms of time. Multiple realms of time is lying at her, under her right foot. Till you do not understand that, you will try to offer external bhoga to her. Again, I am telling you 101 subjects, ritualistic, offering karo, so that, after 3 years, 4 years, 6 years, 10 years down the line, you don't ask me, I didn't offer agarbatti. Did I make a mistake? People are doing sadhana for 2-3 years and then they ask me, I feel like doing ritualistically. Yes, because there is doubt in your mind. Next life, you will become a temple priest. You're doing it completely as per rituals.
Instead, do it now.
Offer your agarbatti and one day you will not even remember, oh, I didn't offer agarbatti, but wow, I'm enjoying my sadhana. That stage means she started coming onto your asana. She's walking around as you, in you, within you, living everywhere through you. That is activated Kali state. That is the God mode, you can say.
Yeah.
But if you have the urge to offer multiple bhoga, do it. Ensure that you're doing it. Because you have to come out of it. Otherwise, 100% 6 months down the line, you will feel guilty. Even the offerings in your asana, do it and renunciate. So I'll tell you very openly about myself. Nothing is offered to her externally that can be purchased or procured, right? Nothing that can be purchased or procured from external influences of consciousness, like a flower selling lady has to sell it to me by plucking the flower from a tree and then coming to a shop, and then me buying from there. I don't offer it to her. What am I in that?
Total procedural collapse.
I'm not the ground on which the flower plant grew. I'm not the tree. I'm not the flower plant itself. I'm not the flower. And the lady is also like, but there was a stage when she demanded all of that. If you see that entire progression of Devi in that Garbhagraha, You can find how she has progressed. Every day you will find a lot of flowers and fruits and all that. Then she stopped taking it.
Yeah.
Want it? I will take you. I'll consume you. Through you, I'll consume everything else. This is Kali state. This is the only way you can give bhoga to Kali. For Swarnakarshan Bhairava, yes, give external bhoga, no problem. Yeah. Ultimately, Bhairava's bhoga is only Kali. Yeah. Right? Wo stage aayega. Let it come by itself. So follow rituals. If you have the urge to follow rituals, karo.
Get it done with.
Congratulations to you the day you no longer are dependent on that. You have truly attained the state now. That stage has to come. That is actual sadhana. It is not bound to a temple at all. It is not bound to any rules. It is you wearing your karma as a skirt. You wearing your own entire ancestors, entire pitru, entire thing as the kanthamala and walking around. That is actual state of attaining oneness with Kali. Obsession. Bhairava's obsession.
So I think this was also previously explained in a beautiful story of Bhima and Arjuna, where Arjuna is trying to gather all the beautiful flowers available in the forest, carts, everything possible.
Carts of flowers.
Yeah, to offer to Mahadeva, while he sees carts full of flowers being pulled by some other beings, Shivaganas. And then that is basically Bhima indulging in his food, every morsel before he consumes.
1 second before he consumes his food. Bhima's hunger is so much.
Yeah.
He has to eat. Yeah. And imagine food is right in front of him, but he's not eating. That second before eating, he's controlling himself and offering it to Mahadeva.
That is powerful.
So this is the most beautiful example of how Kali can be offered bhoga.
Yeah. I think this is a fantastic example. Now that the question of bhoga is also addressed. So in between, you've mentioned beautifully regarding this example of one of the Shishyas posing a question about placing her, and in between you used a word called nimitta. So of course, for the people who have not known enough about this concept of nimitta, so what is a nimitta? Because end of the day, not everything is esoteric. And end of the day, there can be a lot of coincidences where our mind can trick ourselves to believe that it is something it is a nimitta, or it is something, let's say, it is a deity communicating to us, though it might not be the case. So how does a sadhaka navigate this nimitta shastra? Because of course, nimitta cannot be taught. Nimitta shastra cannot be taught. So for a sadhaka who is in a beginner stage, how does he navigate through this situation with nimitta? How does he understand if it's a nimitta or not? How does that intuition, how does that work?
When you lose your head and your head is replaced with something that is not you anymore, that is when you can truly attain oneness with your intuition, which is Ketu, basically. Right? So intuition or nimittas cannot be taught at all. Right? Let me tell you, we Hindus generally we blindly believe the sound that the lizard makes, right?
Shakunam, like Shakuna, different languages, different names, yeah.
Gauli Shastra, like they say in Tamil Nadu, it's called whole Shastra based on its sound. Like there are specific prashnas which I raise in my Garbhagriha. At that time, there are different sounds that the lizard makes. Now, if I tell you, will you be able to believe this? You will believe because you respect.
Exactly.
But if I tell you, if we both
random person,
right now, let's get up, walk out, and find one person and tell him that the lizards in my Garbhagriha makes different sound as per the question I raise. Will they believe?
No.
So it is Nimitta Shastra is the highest form of the deity's communication to you. Highest. It is like you ask a question and the deity will immediately put two things in front of you and make sure that.
Through nature.
Right? We can train the deity's energy to communicate with you by saying that whenever I see 111, 111, I will believe this one. Angel numbering is something that, a system of angel numbering is there, where they try a different way. But for Kali specifically, when we have all accepted that 11 is a number, you will probably start finding that somewhere, and you need to truly believe that now that I've seen this, one way to train. Now that I've seen this there, I believe it is Julie and I'll do it.
So that belief basically.
Okay, let me guide him.
So it's like this cause and the effect.
Surrender. Nimitta Shastra can be attained by only complete surrender to the Nimitta. You see it and then you don't do it, then why should the deities communicate with you? There is no communication only happening. right? So train the deity also to communicate with you. At the highest, yes, you will be able to differentiate between the sounds of animals. Like for example, there is specific way in which the dogs wag their tail. Indian bird dogs. Okay, when I say dogs, I always talk about animals born in the
Indian canine. Yeah.
There are specific ways in which a dog can. This is Kerala Tantra. In Kerala, you will find people, specifically, generally, deity Ma represented without Abhay Mudra, Varda Mudra is common in Kerala. And this specific form you can find in Chammanad Bhadrakali. Chammanad is the name of the place. You will find her in this specific form. Right? People generally think it's all Bengal. This is like a 1,500-year-old temple. And we are very soon going to head into complete Kerala related, because that is why I was born there. Right? Thrown out of Bengal, right? So that I speak about Kali from Kerala. So that's a nimitta. Somehow it just moved, I saw her and I've gone into this. That's how you believe that the deity probably wants his subject addressed. That's a nimitta.
In fact, this entire Parashurama Kshetra, the Bhadrakali worship is fantastic.
Using right now is a nimitta. It is a nimitta. Because it was running in my head for the last few days. And you spoke his name. We will address this,
Yes. Yeah, this is a nimitta actually.
Trust it. Now if I say probably is asking this, no, I'll put a separate video in April, I'll put it. अगर मैं ऐसा करूँगा तो deity will not communicate anymore. I am believing this data, this is nimitta, and I'm jumping into it. That is how you train yourself.
Leap of faith.
Leap of faith, surrender. Surrender. Both say, right? So that is Nimitta Shastra on one side. Train your deity to talk to you by jumping into the fire. See, the deity only will think that if he sees 111, he'll jump into the fire. So let me show it or not show it. Let me guide him. Let me teach him. So deity will teach you. Nimitta Shastra is the knowledge from above. Right? It is Jupiter, which is ether itself, and Jupiter and Ketu, which is a headless being. Jupiter guiding you through the ether, and head is no longer you. Head is the deity. It's a little complicated to describe Nimitta Shastra.
Yes, of course.
Especially Jyotish Shastra, anybody can learn. Of course, how high you go depends on your kripa.
Kripa, the blessings of the deity, yeah.
Tell me what is Ketu in 8th house. You can tell me what is Ketu in 12th house by reading a chart or a book on it, right? But Nimitta, how will you teach it? It is absolute presence of the deity.
It has to be experienced.
So let's take this Nimitta now.
Great. So now taking the Nimitta, actually there's two parts now, like from this question. So there's two very important subjects. Like one is, of course, Parashurama Kshetra, and second thing is the Indian canine reads, right? So let's first, Jema. So let's first address the Parashurama Kshetra. So many people kind of, let's say, it's actually a very practical problem a sadhaka faces in the initial stages. They know that Adya Kali or Devi has to be at the highest, right? That's the eventual. That's where they're headed to. And people, when they find the videos of Lord Parashurama on the channel, or Lord, of course, Skanda, Chanda Bhairav, Skanda, all these things, they get this feeling to, let's say, take a sankalpa. Because even in the Parashurama video, you have clearly told people to take a sankalpa of Parashurama, meditate on him, all these things. Even when it comes to Skanda, you've given the mantra, Nama mantra, and stuff. So they have this conflict, like, okay, if Bhairava and Kali are everything, why should I take a specific sankalpa of let's say Parashurama or let's say Skanda? Of course, someone who has again watched through the entirety of the videos, they understand that Parashurama is an example where the highest states of masculinity was taught that femininity is higher than masculinity.
He is Mahabhadra Kali Shishya.
Exactly. That's why even in the war, when he had the Kartaviryarjuna, he was not able to defeat him because even though he had the Astra from Mahadeva. Exactly. Sorry, Suchandra. And then it is Ma who grants him like this boon that, okay, she grants the realization and he starts this Parashurama Kshetra, this whole Bhadrakali worship happening in this zone. So people have this general question, should I take the sankalpa of a specific form even though I'm doing the worship of Bhairava and Kali? If yes, what should be the mindset? So of course you have given the general guideline that whatever worship you do, whatever specific forms you take up the sankalpa of, highest is always Kali. That should be the goal, end goal.
That should be the core. Like, does the sun rise? Yes. Is there something called the night? Yes. Is Kali the highest form of envisioned Parabrahma form? Yes. So like I've always said, every deity has a Parabrahma form, but the Parabrahmana has a form that is Kali. Right? If you cannot believe this, Kali sadhana won't work for you. If I have to convince you, it won't work. Not because I am special, you are not special, nothing. Time nahi hua hai. Aana to idhar hi hai. This is the final state. Again, you spoke about taking Sankalp of Parashurama. Again, I would like to remind you of our initial discussion in this podcast. Bhairava takes the energy of every single form. So, Bhairava sadhana itself will give you Parashurama's energy. Don't have to specifically take any specific form. Bhairava is clean, clear cut, no frills. No frills.
Embodiment.
Yeah. Everything is Shiva Mayam. Accept it. In that we have different projections. Shiva is Kali. Shiva is not a gender-based deity at all. Shiva is a Shivling.
Tattva.
Shivling is formless, right? Adya, Trimurtis, we have Mahavishnu, Parashurama, right? So Bhairava is like, we already have that energy. You don't have to take a specific thing, right? But when Parashurama becomes extremely relevant is when you need to understand Kali. So, to understand any specific Kali, because like I've said in Mahavidya, she's at the highest, and beyond that also she is there.
Guru of the Mahavidya.
Guru of the Mahavidya is Kali in Mahavidyas itself. But beyond that also she is there in different states. So to Parashurama she reveals herself as Bhadra Kali, and she makes sure that the education is given to him correctly into that, So how is Kali consecrated? For that you need to understand the sadhaka. How is Parashurama intense? The most ugra and my favorite, sorry to use this term, my favorite, absolute favorite is Parashurama in Vishnu avatars. Absolute, right? Very close, what do you say?
Second.
My kula, into which I was born, was established by Parashurama. Number two is both of our mad love for one single cow. So the Kaliputra Mission, it began from Gauseva, right? Where we started with one single cow. His was Kamadhenu, mine is Kamakshi, right? So that one single cow you attack, hell breaks loose. It is like that. So Parashurama, we both began from the same space. And how do you understand Kali? You need to understand the sadhaka. So you understand Parashurama, you understand Bhadra Kali. Yeah. If you do not understand Parashurama, you cannot understand Bhadra Kali as energy. You will simply think it's one more form.
Yeah.
Right? Bhadra Kali is extremely deep, and she connects you to Bama Khepa. I'll tell you how. So let's go to the extremely powerful Kshetra of Adya Mahakali called the Kodungallur Bhadra Kali of Kerala, and her 64 yoginis. So Parashurama established after, like you just told me, he was not able to kill one of the kings as per his dharma of destroying the Kshatriya Kula. He turns into a state where he's not able to kill one of the kings, and whatever divine weapon from Mahadeva he is having and he's throwing it on him, it becomes a garland. So look at that moment of insult, right? That Devi is giving. That's how she is. Devi is like that. She's like, kuch nahi karoge, kya karoge? She's like that. She's got that attitude, right? Best of the weapons you got it from Mahadeva himself. Uske upar kuch hai hi nahi. And you're throwing it at a simple king who's so arrogantly standing in front of you. It is not just becoming ineffective, it is becoming a garland. So see that deity's naughtiness there. This is Kali.
Playfulness.
Playfulness to such an extent that you're
insulted.
Ideology of reality will crumble. What? Imagine, like, I've gone through like this 1,000 years of tapasya. I've come here with Mahadeva's Trishula and you made it a garland. So you cannot even attack my bhakta, and not just that your weapon is inactive, I will make it a garland. This is like layers of insult, right? She's giving it to Parashurama, who is her Shishya, chosen Shishya, right? And then
Beloved.
Yeah, beloved. She absolutely loves him, right? So when you understand Parashurama, you will understand Bhadrakali. So Bhadrakali is intensely both sides of the Vajra. She is there. For example, in Kodungallur Bhadrakali Kshetram, there is something called the Teripatu. Teripatu means the song of profanities. Can you imagine that there is a tradition in a Devi Kshetra where a song of abuses is sang to her?
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, if you have a Malayali friend, ask him to translate the song. It will be quite intense.
Yeah.
Please prepare yourself and try to understand it. Many people in Kerala itself, they are like, no, it is not culture, it is all that, but it is there. It is still
It is true.
Which means she is accepting a song of profanities. Can you connect this with something to do with Bengal? The only parampara that can connect to this? Bama Khepa. So the only parampara of Bengal, the direct connection with Bengal and Kerala Devi Upasana is through Bama Khepa. He is the one who did this there. Right? And he connects directly to Bhadra Kali of Kodungalur there. Because he did that in Tarapit. This is the intensity of Bhadra Kali, and it is such that she, not just one simple Kshetra alone, he established her in Kerala and also established 64 other Kali Kshetras, which means each of her Yogini Tattva is as powerful as Kali. So the entire Kerala sadhana vidhis of Ma Bhadra Kali is beginning to take over now, and I think it is the Vajra has now turned, and this specific south this Kshetra will now rise very much. And these forms are consecrated without Abhay Mudra and Varada Mudra. So many people come, stand Kali bol diya to Bengali hai, bolke Bengali hai. Like what else? They'll come and they'll come for fight with me in the comment section and all that. Why you're not doing this? Why you're not doing that as per Bengal and all that. I would like to tell them that there is a completely different world here, and for that you need to understand Parashurama. Because if you do not understand Parashurama, you will not understand the extremely naughty and playful nature of Bhadra Kali. And she is Adya Mahakali, because if the Sadhaka itself is so high that he is called an avatar of Mahavishnu, if he establishes one specific Devi and he has also attained all the divine weapons of Mahadeva itself, what state of Kali he has established there? And there is no Shakti Pit there. Ma Sati's Shakti Pit you will not find in Kerala, but you will find this network.
Yeah.
It's like a whole network of Adya Mahakali and her yoginis. And very interestingly, if you find my grandmother, maternal and paternal side, all of them have one of the Bhadrakali forms as the Kula Devi. Chema. So probably one of the purposes of this mission itself and rising from the south, probably it is to tell the world about this specific form of deity that is seated in Kerala. And you understand Parashurama, the Ugrata that he is. When he establishes, it will be without Abhay Mudra, Varda Mudra only. Right?
The embodiment of the sadhaka.
Yeah. And in Chammanadu Bhadrakali Koil, which is in Kerala, if you see, they're so, like, what do you tell them? They have consecrated Devi in Tandav form. Kali in Tandav form. When we are afraid to worship Kali in our house only, when we speak about you should not worship her in your house, you should worship her Abhay Mudra, Varada Mudra. Without Abhay Mudra, Varada Mudra, in Tandav they have consecrated her.
Ugrata.
So you need to understand Parashurama for that.
Yes.
That guts, because he saw her in battlefield only. He saw her in battlefield. He was Bhairava Tattva.
So technically, the intent behind the Sankalpa is what matters.
So, Kali at her highest form in Mahavidya,
Yes.
a sadhaka can rise beyond and consecrate one of her energies and do the prana pratishta, and yes, it is relevant. If Kali likes it, it will propagate.
Great.
That is a proof. No matter how many comments you put saying that what form is this, iska dhyana mantra kya hai? Ho gaya. Dhyana mantra is khadga only. Ho gaya. So, this specific form, many people, they get pulled into Bengal and they try to make sense of this form. For that, you need to understand Kerala. That is where it began. It's an ancient one. It is the oldest Kali temple in India, Kodungalur Bhadra Kali. And she also takes Tiripata, the song of profanities. It is cultural. Can you believe that? That is something intense. That means both sides of the Vajra is active there. You praise me with praises, you praise me with profanities. Both are there. That makes it truly ancient, and it connects directly to the culture that is this Parampara Bama Khepa. Only one who can connect Bengal and Kerala is Bama Khepa.
I was able to kind of find something interesting because in the Telugu states, Renuka Yellama is very revered, especially in Telangana, in Hyderabad. Renuka Yellama is a very popular form, and Renuka Yellama is the mother of Parashurama. And then the transgender community, they really worship with a devotion. So basically Renuka Yellama is the god for transgender people in a way, like because they treat her as their Kula Devam. Even though transgender can be from any Kula, for them as a group they treat her as a Kula Devam. And connecting the part of Ninda Stuti, like from the profanity that they use,
Song of profanity.
Song of profanities, right? The Teripat. Yeah, and this concept also in Gangalamma Talli Jatara, that's called Jatara is basically a procession. So in Telugu states, Devis usually have Jatara, the local Grama Devatas, where all the people get together, they kind of celebrate that occasion, whatever occasion it is. Profanity is used, like like a very, very high degrees of intense profanity is used. So that also in both cases, the commonality is that both of the situations, it has something to do with a masculine character, a very deeply masculine character, learning the femininity. So even in the first case about Renuka Yallamma, and then the second case about Gangalamma, where Devi punishes a person who is consumed by lust. So anyone from Tirupati region, for them Gangalamma Tali Jatara is very, very popular. Now this circles back to this concept of Shaktipita that you have mentioned, where if someone is born in certain geography, in certain setting, they should give highest reverence to the Shaktipita closest to them until they realize that the asana itself is a Shaktipita, is a Kshetra. But at least in the initial stages of sadhana, they should not go looking far beyond that space. So what is your advice to people? Of course, you have given the general instructions. What is the importance of, apart from this whole understanding your, let's say, settings or understanding your identity, not to have identity crisis, what is that one thing that you would like to stress upon when it comes to this local cultures? Because you see that there is a common thread. There is a common thread between different geographies of the country, and then unless someone understands their local identity, their local culture, they won't be able to join the dots. So what is your advice to a sadhaka, not just a normal person, but a sadhaka, on how to navigate these things? So where should they start? Because again, they might end up with a question saying that if I'm worshipping Bhairava and Adya, why should I learn about my local culture? Is that even relevant? What is the relevance?
So every body that is birthed, and has a specific bloodline through which it is birthed, it has its own set of kripas, and the asan from where the bloodline is birthed, it will have its own deities powering that bloodline. It is just a very powerful add-on to have, probably one of the most powerful add-on and the first activated kavach. If your sadhana has to take hold, it will take at least 3 years. 1,000 days is the minimum for any deity for that matter. Kali to 1,000 intense days. There's a difference. 1,000 days for any deity, that is 3 years roughly. Kali, 1,000 sincere days where you are like him, addicted to that nama. So it could be more than 3 years. It could be 10, 20 years also for Kali. Right? That is when the deity's energy begins to, it begins to sort of absorb within you and forms an energy body around you. However, for the Kula Deva, the moment you take the Sharan of the Kula Deva, that moment only the kavach is active. From that moment only you're protected. At least the basic levels which probably cannot be attained by somebody who does not have a Kula, then no topic is closed. But the Kula Deva should be propitiated at least once a year. Go to your Kula Kshetram, take the blessings and come back. That is something compulsory that has to be done. It cannot be skipped. Now the minus point or the negative aspects of worshipping I would not say lower, the Grama Devatas is that the extent to which they have been consciously manifested and connected to the highest powers is not that high.
So let's call it the domain of influence.
Yeah, domain of influence, correct.
Okay.
That's the right term. Domain of influence does not cover the highest state. You take any Hindu, randomly pull them out, they will not be able to understand beyond Ma Shodashi. Right, because she is understandable as per, if you take Tamil Nadu, Amman, which is simply the term for Devi, or Kerala you take Bhagavati. What is it for Telugu? Ammavaru. A person whose knowledge only is to that local extent, they can till make sense up to Ma Shodashi. Beyond that is where Shiva begins to transmute it into something else altogether, completely different energy. Beyond the Kailashanath is where Ma Tara and Ma Kali come in. So if you continuously worship only the specific Grama Devata alone, you will lose out a very large chunk of consciousness that has been invoked and attained by great rishis. Right? So yeah, take their blessings if you are from that part. If you are from that specific village, take the blessings. Keep it with you. That's a first and ready kavach for you. But only if you are born there. I see sometimes as some local deities, Grama Devatas. They get worshipped by somebody who has no connection at all because it is trending, bolke. That was like normal 3 years, 4 years it will take for you to attain oneness with the energy. But if your body is from there, just like you and me were just discussing on one specific subject. Like I was born in Kerala, and our cuisine is light, right? So I can only digest light masala, but though I can have a lot of quantity can be high, but masala content I cannot handle to the same extent that you can, because you are from Hyderabad, and we were just talking about you winning a contest in some other country where the most spicy food you're able to win the contest because your appetite and
the gut bacteria,
the I don't know, the ability of your tongue itself to have that level of spices is much higher. So there is a difference in the body, right? Both of us are Indians.
Yeah.
Right? Both of us can communicate in the same, or talk about the same Kali, but the body is different.
Yeah.
So similarly, your Grama Devatas are provided you're born there, and that is your Kula, they will be the fastest to defend you against any kind of negative or any kind of prayoga. They'll be the first. Yeah, absolutely. The first and the most powerful kavach. They cannot be penetrated easily. Unless somebody is, and in fact, somebody has to do a prayoga on you. There is something called bandhan of the Kuladeva. Only then they can touch you. Right? So the eyes of the Kuladeva is tied. And only then so-called black magic, all that can be done on you. Stamb and mar and whatever it is. So if the Kuladeva is actively protecting you, you can do nothing to that person. So if you know your Kuladeva yearly once, yearly twice, on any special days, monthly once, whatever it is, go there to their specific kshetra and worship. To the kshetra you should go and worship. But of course, if you've never gone there but you have attained the 3-4 years of Kali sadhana, Bhairava sadhana, then their protection is already there.
So they become the Kuladeva.
They become the Kuladeva. Bhairava, to every deity he takes, no?
Yeah.
But it will take 3-4 years.
Yes, of course. Effort.
By default, you have this protection, might as well keep it going.
Exactly.
Till your body is, and that also protects your children even if they never do their sadhana. Your local deity,
bloodline.
Grama Devatas, they will be protected, children will be protected by these deities just because you worship them. Whereas you might not be able to protect them to that extent if the kids don't worship Kali. Right? So Grama Devatas or your Kula Deva, forever they'll protect the Kula, provided you, the parent, and then if the child worships, then the child's child, the Kula is always protected. Right? You cannot guarantee Kali's protection if the child never, as an adult, 20 to 25-year-old child never worships Kali, you cannot guarantee that.
Cannot be guaranteed, yeah.
Kula Deva is not like that. So this is a very powerful consciousness that is consecrated very beautifully by our ancestors. Make use of it. We should not be so British stylized that we call ourselves Lord Mountbatten and we forget this, look down upon our deities. To Gaya. Such a person, if you're looking down at your Kuladeva, probably will not even progress in Bhairava sadhana. The Kuladeva can stop that.
Yeah.
If you're looking down on your deities. If you don't know, now this is the immediate question that will come. What if I don't know my Kuladeva? Then do Bhairava sadhana. Khatam. He will take the 3 years ho jayega lekin protection ke liye. Lekin aa jayega 100%. The other question that will always come, Narasimha.
Yeah.
Just like what I've just told you for such a extended period of time, that go and do the Kuladeva sadhana at the Kuladeva kshetra.
Eventually, yeah.
But continue your sadhana of Bhairava. Don't club all energies together. Right? You do full-fledged Bhairava sadhana, full-fledged Narasimha, so absolutely pointless, because sadhana, one lifetime, you can only do one form. Right? It is only Bhairava who transmutates from Vatuka all the way till Mahakala Bhairava, he can go. Provided Kala Bhairava to Mahakala Bhairava, Kali is required. Because he becomes a Rishi only for Kali at that point. However, if it is Narasimha, don't do Narasimha sadhana 2 hours a day, Bhairava sadhana 2 hours a day. No. Kuladeva hai, you know the kshetra.
Take the blessings.
Take blessings monthly once, weekly once also you go. Irrespective, there is no energy clash at all because it is Kuladeva, body is from there. Right? Sadhana, one deity, Ishta. 3 years after that, that deity will take over completely. But the Kuladeva will continue to protect the progenies. Kula is protected.
Jaimana. So now, something that is very much related to what you have spoken regarding the abhichara, the black magic and stuff. So the general recommendation for the sadhakas is to recite kavacham. And many people ask this question, what does it mean to activate a kavacham, right? So the general explanation is that you recite it enough number of times. And then the follow-up question usually is, what kavacham to pick? Because people are not really satisfied when they are told that any kavacham is the same. Let's say if you have Kali kavacham, there can be 108 types. But the point is, they are not really satisfied to hear that any kavacham is the same, as long as you're picking one and activating it. So, what is your advice to the people when it comes to kavacham? Because what is the role of a kavacham, the recitation, apart from visiting a kuladeva, apart from taking the krupa from the guru, invoking the guru, the parampara, because everything is a kavach in itself. So apart from this, when it comes to the recitation of kavacham itself, what should be the mindset of someone, and how do you guide the people who are very confused about what kavacham to pick?
So the fastest activating kavach will be the kavach of your Ishta. Keeping the Kuladeva aside. Kuladeva, by visiting the Kshetra itself, it's activated. Right? He'll completely continue to power you. And even your children, everything is protected. But if you have no Kuladeva and you're dependent on Ishta Deva, the Ishta's kavach, any kavach is the actual answer. But confidence chahiye. For that, you should have the true Ishta. Ishta ka sadhana, if you're really doing, you should not have a lack of confidence thinking, ye kavach karunga, to protection nahi aayega. Ye thought ही wrong hai. That means Ishta is not correctly being
Placed.
The worship is not right. Otherwise, how can you have the doubt? Kavach kya hai? It's a basic shield. So Ishta will not even give that much. That confidence you don't have. It's going to take 3 years minimum. To activate a kavach properly, it will take 3 years. But Ishta's kavach is the fastest acting. Like you're doing the sadhana of Ma Durga and you do the kavach of Bhairava, it doesn't make sense. Because now why should Bhairava kavach work for you when you're full time you're spending on Durga sadhana? So you should do the sadhana of your Ishta. Right? Kali kavach specifically, why I don't give is because the kavach that I have perfected for myself is extremely powerful. This is the actual answer. It is so powerful that forget prayogas, it can even restrict other divinities' progress in that specific kshetra, because there is a kshetra, right? The name is growing to this extent and all that. It is under the kavach of that specific deity and it's very powerful. It has Maran in it. It has Thamban in it and all that. So anybody attacking the kshetra or trying to pull it down directly, Maran, Thamban, all of them will automatically start manifesting in their life, even if I don't know their names, right? So this sort of a kavach, if I'm going to give it to somebody, it could be disastrous, right? You don't want to end up losing your family because you had a fight and you're looking at that your sister or brother as an enemy. And you might, if you're not matured enough to not look at your sister or brother as an enemy, it might not even activate for you because you're looking at your own sister as an enemy. It might not even activate. So that is why I don't specifically give kavach. Any kavach I say, because if you stumble upon find this kavach and you start reciting that, then probably Devi wants you to do it. Any Kali kavach is Kali kavach. Any Bhairava kavach is Bhairava kavach. Now people will ask me, what if there's a bija? So what?
It's given.
Sadhana of the specific deity, right? What is going to happen if you do this kavach with the bija? This is all gatekeeping that has created this thought within you. That is why Brahma lost his head. So you don't have to fear, right? For Bhairava, you can't gatekeep the gatekeeper is the only point I'll tell you. And even if there is a bija, kavach can be activated. Fastest activating kavach would be Ma Durga. If you're in any Durga related sadhana and all, definitely your go-to choice, very powerful, fast acting, Vattuka Bhairava, right? Kali to you don't have to say only, but it is not for everybody. But if you're doing Kali sadhana, any Kali kavach is extremely powerful. But once she takes over, all energies are muted there.
Thanks, Anna. So now, because we are talking about the femininity, the feminine side, right? In fact, coincidentally, all the topics that we were discussing, even when it comes to Arjuna, because Arjuna's feminine side was explored in the form of Brihannala, right, at the end of the Vanvas that they had, Ajnatavas, right? And then we came to Renuka Yellamma. We also spoke about Gangalamma, all these forms. A major group of questions that are posed are from women, especially even though this topic is very much addressed. It's extensively addressed. In fact, I think this was one of the, let's say, it has got the major share of focus. But yet, they keep asking about sadhana during periods, what procedures to follow during periods. In fact, you have given a proper video also regarding the testosterone cycle, 11th day as per the video. But yet, I think the message has not reached to the larger section of the people, and they keep posing these questions, not just on YouTube, but also on Instagram Reels. So, what is your advice to women who are having ambiguity, or let's say who are kind of not so sure about their sadhana, about how to deal with this situation with the periods and the monthly cycles.
That's right. For a Shakti sadhaka, especially when I say Tantra or when I say Devi Upasana, I always, for me, it is just Kali, right? So for Kali sadhaka, even thinking that you could be inauspicious during periods is a risk to your sadhana itself. The path only will shut down for you, right? That is you rejecting your body. You have rejected your birth also, and you have become inauspicious if you think during periods time your sadhana's journey is closed. Khatam. Number one. Number two, if you are weak, if you do not feel like you can sit during those days, then yes, due to weakness, you can pause your sadhana even during sankalp. It will not have any negative impact on you. However, what is my actual advice? Don't stop. That is my actual advice. Should you stop because of periods? No. That is my answer. You should specifically continue feeling that you are even more pious for Kali. Right? Many of the other Devi forms and their paddhatis and vidhis and the thought consciousness has not reached this point. So they will not understand. Right? So they will sit down over there thinking that they are not clean. This will disturb their sadhana. However, for Kali sadhaks, during periods, you are not just impure or pure is not the question. You are at that moment, if you sit down, it is even more powerful because you are also being powered by another specific Mahavidya by the name Ma Matagi, who is the sun itself. Her planet is sun. You don't want sun? You don't want sun impact in your life, which is the king of the planets, right? She is inauspiciousness. So that moment, the entire household should celebrate this woman. In fact, if there is a woman in her periods and the man thinks that he can't do sadhana because his wife is in periods, that will only end his Kali sadhana. Inauspiciousness does not exist in the subject because what is the periods? It is the leftovers of what Prakriti did not use for creation.
Life force.
Yeah, the life force is coming out, and at that moment you are saying it is dirty, unclean. What? Khatam ho gaya na. This is all the typical fifth head losing moment. Then inside the fifth head of Brahma, which Bhairava carries, there is nothing dirty, impure about periods. In fact, it is to be celebrated, and that is the whole point of Makhamukhya. So, a Devi sadhaka, when I say Devi, Kali, you cannot say that my periods, can I do sadhana? A thought has to be uprooted and replaced with I am most pious when I am in my periods. This is where the answer is. Not that you sit down and do it even during periods. You have to replace it by saying that I am the most pious during my periods, because Devi Ma does not reject what she created, and especially what is the leftovers of creation only, how can you reject? Right? So this is where the tantric path comes out. This is where the left-handed path comes out. You sit and call yourself a tantric and then you reject something like this that is probably the most powerful emanation of creation itself in human body. Your path is more or less, you're just kidding yourself and you're just fooling yourself. You lost the path. So the answer is yes. You should do sadhana, especially for Kali. You should do. For Bhairava, yes, you should do. And if you feel that you can't do because you are impure, it is time for you to realign and check whether you are in the right path, first of all.
Okay. Now, the next question, usually the follow-up question is that, so there is a set of sadhakas, the woman. Again, I'm using a gender-neutral term like sadhaka, like, some people call them sadhika, but anyway, yeah. So they are fine as long as when it comes to their asana, they are fine. But the question that they pose is, when I enter a space, let's say it's a temple, maybe some other temple, other form, they have to visit. Someone is doing a specific worship or specific puja of some form where they have to visit, right? So these people have this conflict, whether they have to enter that space or not. So again, in this case, the general recommendation is that when you enter a space that does not belong to you, you respect the conditions and you respect the achara of that place. You don't impose your own achara, your own morality to that place, right? That's the general recommendation. But what would you tell them just to stress upon this? Because as long as it is our asana, the rules of the parampara, your guru's adesh, your practices apply. But as long as we enter something else, we are a guest. So what is your take on this?
That is my take too. So I would say that for the tantric, for the tantra margi, for the tantra sadhak, the asana is the highest. And generally I do not even suggest just casually visiting kshetras like that. right? You have to take a sankalp. 11 days is the minimum sankalp for any kshetra you visit. Sometimes people text me and ask me about Kashi. My mother has planned, my father has planned, I want to go. Whatever it is, you take sankalp and go, right?
Like a pilgrimage.
Sorry?
Like a pilgrimage.
Yeah, it has to be sankalp. You make a proper connection with the deity for 11 days or 48 days, and then you go there. The impact is completely different, and you're protected also. And don't make it for that day, for you alone, she will come and sit, right? So that is how you treat outside kshetras. You do not just casually walk in there. And if you feel that specific kshetra and its niyamas are set in such a way that you cannot enter during specific days, then don't.
Yeah.
But you should not feel that your ineligibility to enter or eligibility to enter has any bearing on your sadhana or you yourself, because your actual asana is in your house. You have no business thinking about that other space, because udhar devi hai ya nahi hai depends on the pujari's shakti. Whereas yahan pe to hai 100%. So to see the same deity, you don't have to go there, you sit here. During periods, without periods, out of question.
Thank you. Thanks, Anna. So now coming to this topic that I wanted to touch upon previously, that is the Indian canine breeds, right? Because one very important thing when it comes to the iconography of a devata, apart from the weapons, apart from the ornaments, so there's detailed descriptions of the kind of bhog that a devata likes, the kind of days of a week, the kind of planets they are associated to. The Vahanas are given a very prominent position, and of course these have been discussed in detail, in much detail, but then a lot of people tend to pose questions. So what would you like to talk, let the people know regarding the Shwana, the dog, as a Bhairava Vahana? What is its importance, and what is your association with the Indian canine breeds? What is your association? What has been your journey? If you can briefly go through.
So if you look at it purely as a most boring way of putting it would be astrological way of telling you. Any astrologer you go to, they will say that you feed dogs, you can please Shani Dev. You feed dogs, you can please Ketu. You will get all the negative effects of Shani Dev or Ketu will reduce. This is where the answer is, right? The reason why dogs have become extremely powerful during the golden, after the golden era of Kali Yuga, why they become extremely powerful as time passes, the answer lies with Yudhishthira and the dog. Dharma. When Yudhishthira finally attains the ability to walk till the gates of Swargaloka, he is stopped because they don't let his dog pass, right? Why did that happen? Such an incident is not described anywhere from the Satyuga, Dwapara, Treta, nowhere it is described. But ultimately at the end of Dwapara, you find that Yudhishthira is not allowed to enter. Why? The question lies with the dog. The inauspicious part of the dog, representing the inauspiciousness that is there in the conscious manifestation of Devi itself, has not been treated right, or has not yet been accepted by the so-called divinity that we perceive divinity as. So the dog here represents everything inauspicious, right? Yeah, no matter what you do and how big of a priest you are, how big of a pujari you are, how big of a ritualistic worshipper you are, itna bhi bada sampradaya ho, if Yudhishthira se to bada nahi hoga, right? That man held dharma,
Embodied dharma.
saw Krishna in person. Usse to bada, I don't think there's anybody here around.
In fact, he's called Dharmaraju in Telugu.
Yes, Dharmaraj, right? So nobody can go above him in Kali Yuga, for sure. Even his final test was, how do you treat the Vahana of Bhairava? Because now, repeat episodes are going to end. Now is a chance for us to attain moksha and plan our re-entry. The time has come, but the moksha is lying with Kashi, Bhairava. Vahana is there. So how you treat and how is your interaction with the Bhairava energy determines your state of moksha. This is very beautifully placed in the Dwapara Yuga, and with Yudhishthira entering the Swargaloka is restricted no matter what or how big you have been, how have you treated the dogs. And everything that is represented by the dogs, that is DK. Everything that is rejected by all of us. Every experience or everything that we have owned, but let's say that you have a great dish at home. You have it and you just put the plate in the sink. But you enjoyed the food. You enjoyed the food on the plate. It was tasted really good, but you didn't wash it, because the washing is somebody else's job.
Yeah. So
right?
The entirety of the
cycle
experience
is not complete. Right? The dogs represent that. From Satya, Treta, Dwapara to the golden age of Kali Yuga, we have all touched upon the white energy, the dark energy, the black energy is represented by the dog that could not enter with Yudhishthira.
That's treated as inauspicious.
Auspicious. Now, ab isko khana padega. The entire Kali Yuga will have to consume that.
Inauspiciousness.
Inauspicious,
Not the dog.
We're not attacking any
exactly.
country here, right? So you will have to consume everything that is inauspicious now. That is represented by the dog. So not just that, one of Vahana of Bhairava, of course, is the dog. Feeding of the dog can get you the
Blessings.
benefits of Shanideva's side, Ketu, which allows you to attain Pretasana and then fix your new head. You know, your rebirth sits there again. The evidence that it is moksha sitting over there, right? Then comes Ma's name, which is Kukurale Nivasani, there where dogs are kept. She resides where there is dogs.
Okay.
Kukura Sangha Samyukta. She is around where dog groups are available. So I saw some of the questions that is there in this PDF that we were looking at, that in my society there are no dogs. What should I do? I'm very sorry. If you want to find Jnana in Satyuga, you'll have to walk for 10,000 kilometers. You'll have to walk from Kanyakumari to Himalaya, and somewhere you'll find some Jnani giving you Jnana. Today it's coming all the way till your house in a PDF, right? And you cannot walk 2 streets and find a dog.
That effort.
And the lack of finding the dog easily is also part of karma.
Like a nimitta.
And anybody going after the dogs, trying to take care of them, will be protested against by the power positions. They will try to push you off, and the power position attains arrogance and says the dog is again niche, inauspicious, throw them out. Ye situation aa jayega. It's already here, right? So they will all have their time. The circle of time keeps coming around, and the dogs are going to be a huge factor in understanding how you have perceived the creation of Devi. And you cannot reject inauspiciousness. Bamdev, though, full time he was with his dogs. His first Shishya, he says, is my dogs. And he says that his best Shishyas who had done something wrong, or some sadhakas who have something wrong, they come back and live in the Kshetra as a dog. That is what he says, Kalu Baba. Yeah. So when somebody tried to just swat him off, just send the dog away from Bamdev so that he can have a conversation with Bamdev, he roared. And he said that this dog lives here with pure bhakti on Devi, and you, on the other hand, are just an arrogant person. And your Devi sadhana is below this dog, right? So dogs, especially dogs born in the asan, they have a huge role to play. And they represent everything inauspicious that our bloodlines have rejected. So Bhairava Vahana, yes, moksha sign there, evidenced by Yudhishthir. All yagyas, everything has done. Sadhana, yagya, bhakti, dharma, sab kuch. Inauspicious ko kaise dekhte ho? How have you treated inauspiciousness? Either only you will get your glory. And inauspiciousness, the Devi form represented with inauspiciousness, Mahatangi represents sun. Yeah. So he who attains heights on the inauspicious, so even in Bhairava path, everybody is after Bhairava, and like Bhairava is such a viral term right now. Everybody is looking at big temples, big organizations, big crores they are looking at, but who is talking about the dog?
Not the big players.
Big players or anybody with who wants to establish Bhairava, you first work for the dog. That is when, anybody you ask casually, they say that when a dog comes towards me, that is a sign of Bhairava's presence. There only the answer is there, no? Yeah. If when the dog comes to you, your sadhana is tick marked, your yagya is tick marked, and he has accepted the sadhana you're saying.
The offering.
Then why did the dog come? Which means only when the dog is appropriated and taken care of, that is the reverse route actually. Right? For the simple dog Bhairava, the greatest Shakti lies in that, because it connects to Kali also. A canine family, her Canis Aurus Indicus and Canis Lupus Familialis, the female jackal and the Indian canine dog, they're all canine. Devi's, yes, canine family. So Devi's Vahana is also from the dog family only, and they share 99.5% DNA. So, and the Indian canine can interbreed with the jackal. Okay. So, Vahanas are not just picked out of the air. They have a lot of science in it actually.
Anna, so especially for the working professionals, because these days people don't have the luxury to just sit in sadhana for like whole day, right? So, they have to take care of their daily responsibilities. They have to provide for the family. They have to ensure that they make a living. And then, have a proper priority for sadhana. So, in the initial phases, some of the sadhakas pose questions saying that they're not interested in anything else. They're not interested in the material life. They don't want to do their job anymore. Wherever they go, they see Kali. So, how does one navigate this? Because end of the day, if they are running away from the responsibility which they are put into, that is also not correct as per the dharmic perspective. So, how do you advise, how do you suggest that these people should navigate through the situation?
See, very rarely, maybe one in a lakh of one in few lakhs might be able to have a career, or if I have to use that word, career in Devi, right? His entire lifetime itself will be spent talking about Devi. That is extremely rare. One of the signs of that would be intense pull, that when you start talking about a specific deity, people will be drawn towards you. Only that person will have a lifetime spent in talking about Devi, and right, life only will be spent on building temples. That will be there in the horoscope also. Most people can find out if there is yoga of having Kumbha Abhishekam done, and all that is there in the horoscope, right? Such a person only will be able to not have a job and all that, and even for such a person, it has to come naturally. When is the karmic Ranad Bandhana complete? And when does that handoff happen to complete lifetime spent on Devi sadhana? For most, it will be post-retirement. That is when naturally, if you see, people become very spiritual after or towards the end of their working life.
The career.
So daughters are married off, son is married, son is settled, daughter is settled, and they finally become like they're not able to go to job anymore. They're 58, 60, they become spiritual. Right? Whereas for a sadhaka, you are accelerating this. Right? It is possible that you might be able to do that 30, 35 also, but how many will be able to make a complete career only talking about Devi? That is very rare. So never quit your job just because you feel like the rust is going off. Right? Don't forcefully take a step saying that now with a full time I want to do this only, I've lost interest in that. You will end up making so many karmic rana, agami karma, with your bloodline cursing you, your wife cursing you, your son is cursing you, daughter is cursing you, and you'll land up at a state where you will be badly locked in the same bloodline. So sometimes certain lethargy could be masked, and it might appear as if it is because of Devi's influence that you want to quit your job. No, shut up and show up. That is the only advice I have. If it is meant to be where Devi is your only, full-time job, right? It will happen by itself. It will begin to show up in your life, right? Just because you have that feeling today, don't quit your job and run off into the forest, and don't even have that thought. It is again, yogic process versus tantric process. Yogic is like ignore everything, go sit in an ashram, pretend that you have no desires and nothing, and sit in an ashram. Are you sure about, is everybody at that state where you can quit and run away? Where you can quit defined life? Then why are you born in a family? Why are you born with limbs? Why are you born with all feelings and all that, right? Why do you ignore it? So probably something might open up because of which your career can be built in a field which makes more sense to you. That is what you should power, right? So that your career becomes so interesting that you are so engaged that Devi becomes small. That is the right way to do it. Obsession will be there. After that, when the new life begins, you will be aligned towards something that makes more sense to you. But will it be sadhana only as a lifestyle? Very rarely. Very rarely. Sadhana will be a huge part of your lifestyle, but can you make sadhana your full-time job?
Yeah. So technically, the marker should be that whenever they want to shift from the responsibilities of professional career, there should be least resistance, because the only sign that it naturally happens is that everything aligns, where people don't expect something else, because the moment they start expecting, there's a karma and rinanubandha, and that it can be grina, it can be expectations.
There are certain things that will not allow you to exit. So then ask Devi
Some
for the
kind of
strength
bond.
to just go on. Right? Don't quit and run. Escapism will only lock you. You cannot escape karma. Right? It will only lock you further. So find something, engage yourself into something that will make your life more fun and more easier. If you like to be a dancer, there is a desire within you to be a dancer, take up dance. There is a desire within you to do something that is very unconventional, but it is there. That could keep you alive in your very boring job also. But don't try to run away from your job saying that you want to be a sadhaka. Many organizations allow it, but that could be a big trap for a future, future birth. Yeah.
And now a slightly controversial topic actually. So this is about homosexuality. So many sadhakas, they have these questions like, how does this matter? If let's say if someone is a homosexual, it can be male or female, doesn't really matter. How does that sexual orientation matter when it comes to sadhana? Because the general guideline is that it doesn't matter, because as long as they are respecting their own boundaries, they're having consent, and they keep it to themselves, because it's a private issue. It's a very deeply private issue. So, but then how do you address this? Because many people are posing these questions on Instagram, especially Instagram, not on the YouTube comments, but Instagram comments. People ask like, how does this affect? What is the karmic aspect of it? How do we get this, let's say, is it correct or not, like morally? So they have all sorts of questions. How do you address this?
See, sadhana is a deeply private thing, right? And it is something that you do when you're on the pyre. That is the whole point of Bhairava and Kali sadhana, right? So you do not expect the society to make sense of you as long as you can make sense of yourself. That is all it is. Sadhana is a deeply private, alone, lonely path. Then why do you want the society to accredit anything about you, whether it is, whether you like a man or a woman? It makes no difference, right? As long as you are at peace. But if you're trying to make the society also attain peace with what you are, then it will be a very difficult, stringent, strenuous path that you're trying to take it up. So most of these questions mean that they themselves have not accepted them. That is what you should work on.
So the external validation, the need for external validation.
The burnt body does not have the ears. The burnt body cannot hear. The burnt body cannot feel. It simply accepts itself as it is. Only such a person can do Kali sadhana, right? So if whatever is your orientation, it is immaterial as long as you are able to attain shunyata and peace with what you are. So it does not matter whether you're like a man or a woman, as long as you are at peace with what you are. But if you're continuously asking what does it mean in sadhana, you are Devi's creation. All of your thoughts, your being itself is Devi. So don't try to make others judges of your life. You be at peace with what you are and live happily. Sadhana is a private journey. Whatever you feel, discuss with Devi. Right? So orientation does not have bearing on your sadhana. But you having identity crisis where am I wrong, am I right, that will have bearing.
Yeah. So the sense of doubt, the ambiguity will
is again you
definitely hinder
basing
the
on
progress.
External factors. That will absolutely destroy your sadhana.
Because instead of looking for acceptance from the deity, people are looking for acceptance from the society.
Other people.
So that means the deity is not as highly placed as society. So that's again a mismatch.
You as a creation, no matter how dark, no matter how bright, how excellent or how terrible you are in a closed room, that is accepted by the deity because she is your creator. So whatever you are, whether you are good, bad, average, as accredited by the society does not matter before Devi. But if you strive for the society to accept it, you will never be at peace, right? So for that you should understand the name Ghrina. 186, the name of Kali is Ghrina, which is hate. Probably no other deity on the planet has a name called hate. So if you're feeling hate, that is you experiencing consciousness that is manifested as hate. If you find that people are hating you because of your orientation, then you're probably learning an aspect of consciousness that she wants you to experience. And you're just Jnana. Right? In a future birth or in the same birth, you'll be able to teach hate better. Because hate is also an emotion. Everybody can teach happiness.
Or even how to navigate.
Everybody can teach you what is sweet. It's so sweet, it feels so good. But how do you teach hate? Only somebody who has felt the stone on their face, only somebody who has felt the burn of the acid as an acid victim, they can teach you a lot more than I can teach, right? If I have experienced an acid burn, I can teach you pain in ways that probably you and me will not be able to understand, right? So you're learning something within consciousness. A state has been exposed to you. Learn it. But don't be too identified with yourself. Don't think that I am oriented in this way. No, I am manifested in this way in which my orientation is this. I am learning this state. This is how a sadhaka thinks. So the moment the question only is raised, I have a problem. Because you're formless. Your Atma is formless. It is within this body, so it is experiencing this state. Learn it, feel it, move on. Right? Many things will not be accepted by the society. Kali only is not accepted. Kali, how many people are keeping at home?
If a deity can't be accepted, why are
Why do you need anybody else to
looking
accredit?
for
But
acceptance?
Kali accepts. That I have no doubt in it.
So another set of questions are from men largely. So especially in the path of Devi, when we say that women have to be, especially anything feminine, the femininity has to be placed at the highest position. Whether the woman hates you or the woman loves you, whatever the emotion of the woman towards a man is, especially who's a sadhaka, he has to accept it fully. So many people pose a question like, what if they're doing adharma? What if they're doing a mistake? What if they're hurting me willfully? Should I not just act? Should I not take any legal recourse? Should I not take any, let's say, any sort of reaction from my side as a man? Would it cause severe repercussions in the sadhana of Devi? So again, here the beautiful example of Arjuna, where in the Kurukshetra, he's full of emotions, and Krishna advises him to put the bow down and forget the emotion and just do it as a dharma karya, just to, not with emotion but without emotion. But this example, I think it needs more context or let's say, in your words, in further detail, how should people deal with it? This is very tricky situation.
So when we say that, experience femininity at its highest, it simply means to attain witness consciousness with everything feminine, right? So that because it is only the Prakriti Tattva. So we have Purusha and Prakriti. They basically Purusha and Prakriti. It is only the Prakriti that is capable of taking in more of itself. Prakriti can take in more of Prakriti. Purusha is a stable being. It doesn't have the ability to, it is like stuck, fixed, doesn't move. The Adhara does not move, but the Prakriti Tattva, the more it connects to Prakriti, it will widen itself. So it is only the feminine part within you that can widen and grow in its own depth of understanding, perceiving femininity and perceiving Prakriti. That is the Yoni consciousness. Everything feminine is connected, interconnected. But of course, as you navigate her path and understand femininity, you will understand that some of the feminine aspects are not digestible. It will be, as time passes, it will become extreme and even more undigestible, right? But for the Kali Sadhaka, the first 1,000 days will burn, and you will be exposed to aspects of femininity which you will not be able to contain, and you will not be able to make sense of it. Just attain witness consciousness and do not make a feminine enemy. That is something you should avoid.
Consciously.
She will also make sure that you don't have a feminine enemy at all. If you're truly in the path of Kali, you will not have a feminine enemy, right? You will not have that. There will not be a woman who's trying to kill you. Even if there's a huge fight, you will probably just separate and walk off. That runner will break off by itself because it's an experience you are collecting, right? So don't make a feminine your enemy and don't try to destroy her. Maintain distance. Now, what if that situation demands you to be, you are being destroyed by feminine? It could be karmic, because most bloodlines have absolutely destroyed femininity inside it. Have huge rananubandhanas of destroying women in their bloodlines. Female infanticide is there in your blood. So the feminine has simply taken another form and has come to destroy you. That could be the state. So you never truly know. Worship Ma, ask her for protection. She'll protect you and that thing will not exist anymore. But you should consciously accept that such a state is there. And it was hurt to such an extent, it was trying to kill me. It is a very subjective thing. I cannot give you a straight example, because if femininity is trying to destroy you, there is something very dangerous that has happened in your bloodline. For a Kali Sadhaka, this is the only message. Karma hai. It is karmic, right? Usually she'll protect you and it will just dissipate. If a woman stands in front of you and is trying to shoot you down with a bullet, you have to protect yourself. You have to move. Protect yourself.
You can't just stand
there and just get killed. Invoke her protection and move. But don't make it your life's purpose to destroy a woman. That will be an absolute rejection in the path of Kali. But you have to experience, there are some of the names of yoginis itself suggest that there is Pishach energy too. Pishachini is also one of the energies of Kali. It's a yogini, it's a feminine energy, right? When you experience that, it is going to be something that is going to try and kill you only. You have to experience that.
In fact, very intense names. Shakini, Dakini, Pishachini. Many intense
feminine energies. This will manifest in real life and show you in front of a form that might try to kill you, destroy you, will have just absolute mindless hate towards you. Experience it and ask Ma for mukti from it. It will move off. In my experience, it has always moved off. You will not have to sit and shoot the arrow, usually, because it is her teaching you how to witness it. It's a very sensitive topic.
Yes, very
It's
sensitive.
very difficult to
and
address
very
directly
subjective
because you
also.
never know.
Yeah.
Bloodlines try to project themselves as the victim, but you don't know who your grandfather, great grandfather, what they've done.
In fact, they might be unaware.
Never. Mostly they're unaware.
Mostly they're unaware.
Whole point of femininity rising against men itself is it's all karmic. Because as bloodlines we have been against femininity and suppressed them to such an extent when the goddesses itself are suppressed and put into the side and the womb is not respected, it will rise to such an extent that the rest of the yuga only will be spent in the worship of Devi.
So, beautifully explained. So, technically, the conscious mind should understand that whatever negative effects that they're seeing from a feminine or from a woman are basically the pending karma, and instead of directly retaliating, just ensure that they are first, if they have a physical danger, of course they have to take action, but then the person that they have to approach is Ma. So they should ask Ma Kali to
Femininity
protect
is
them.
attacking you, worship
Exactly.
the divine feminine.
Divine feminine, that's it.
One question I believe in Delhi satsang, right, where the boy had claimed that there is history of female infanticide.
Okay.
And there was absolutely no worship of the divine feminine at all. But this fellow is absolutely mad about Kali, right? So the bloodline is changing itself
Liberating.
from being the killers of the feminine to worshipping the feminine. It is happening, and that fix is coming. But he will definitely face situations where women come for their throat, for his throat.
So he has to bear the brunt for the bloodline.
Of it, witness that also, and she will only protect. She's just showing him how ugly it has been in the blood.
Yeah, yeah.
Witness and come out of it. No other path. Burn through.
So basically, there's no escape.
Absolutely no escape.
Now, because we have covered about men, women. So another question that people have is, of course, this also has been addressed multiple times, about the form of the deity. So let's say they're worshipping a specific form of divine feminine, right? And then they might have a pull towards another form of divine feminine. So in this case, many people pose a question whether they're doing, let's say, injustice to the parampara, or let's say injustice to the teachings of the guru. How do they deal with this situation? Let's say, I'm not taking specific names because it's not just one particular form in general, right? So they start worship of Ma Kali, and then suddenly some other feminine form connects to them, or they feel that it's connecting. So how do they deal with this situation?
It is her nature. Kali's nature is that, she will test you. Are you sure that it is me? Do you want to consume this energy at this state? Or do you simply want to find a form that is simpler and easier and more Soumya to take care? That is how she'll test you. Most get pulled to that side. And they will have a great life running after that path, that form. But you should understand that all the Mahavidyas, they originate from Kali and go back to Kali. Right? So here we are talking about the core Shakti within every form. You should have the Hatha to say that no, she is mine, you are mine. I will not go for any other form. That Hatha she will test. If you don't have it, then she will simply push you off to another form and run away. That's nature. Shakti, all nature will try to run away. You will have to run after and hold on to the foot only and keep her there.
So
It's
the
a test.
perseverance,
It's a
the
test.
determination.
It's a test.
It's a test, yeah.
With a proper doorway. That if you choose it, you will still have a good life worshipping that specific form.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, it will be fine. Yes. But do you want it or not? It's for you to decide.
Yeah,
If you
it's
still
individual.
reject that form completely and continue to do sadhana, just she will take you on. But if you don't also, the other form opens up and you start chasing after that guru, that parampara. But be guilt free.
Yeah.
Go there and sit with guilt, then
Again, the identity crisis will continue and it will be a disaster. Yeah. So now coming to the most important question. So
most important question in the end.
at the end. So what was your intent behind agreeing to this format of a podcast, or let's say what is the future going forward when it comes to, we call it the podcast or satsang or clarifying sadhana related queries? What is the future? Why did you accept? What did you have in your mind? Why did you accept after so long, or why did this thought take so long to manifest?
It's all her doing, no? Jupiter has transited into a specific position, and we'll find a lot of things expanding this year. And I believe that it is time to also, the Murti is also walking around now. She's also come outside. Probably she wants to explore a lot of different formats and expand her name this year. And it's the year of Kala Bhairava. So she's also walking around a little bit. I hope that we have more of these interactive sessions where, it's just when people ask questions that the actual Jnana flows, as opposed to me just sitting in Dhyana and finding a new topic and speaking. That will be very limited. But the more questions come through from any Shishya who wants to learn, that will be massive and fast. It's like a floodgate opening from a different source altogether. So I think this specific format is good. What do you feel? It works to an extent.
I think to large extent, because end of the day, the questions that are being posed are also collected from there were more than 1,000 questions which were categorized into themes. And of course, there is a lot more ground to cover. We are just barely scratching the surface. The idea here is that this entire effort is to show a small trailer of what people are going through in the sadhana journey. And the outcome that we expect is that they'll find some sort of solace, they'll find some sort of progress, some sort of peace of mind. Because the biggest killer for any sadhaka in their journey is the doubt, the self-doubt, whether am I doing a mistake, am I doing right? Because saying that I'm a Veera is one thing, but living the experience is entirely different aspect. So there are many obstacles, many hurdles in this process. I think this kind of direct knowledge transfer with, let's say, direct question answer format or conversational format, I think it really helps. And on behalf of the community of sadhakas, I sincerely thank you for accepting this this format and giving us the Jnana. And we look forward to many such interactions.
People should mention in the comments if this is a useful format.
So we will see.
Both of us agreeing and they don't like it, then what's
Yeah, it's not just us patting on our own backs, but if people really want, so if they do comment on this videos, and if they do let us know that this is a useful format as per their opinion, I think many of this with her blessings might come. So any closing remarks, Anna?
Closing remarks, stick to your sadhana. That is all it is. All these doubts and all this, one way or the other it will get cleared. Don't dwell on it too much and don't try to make too much sense of it. Don't try to outwit the deity itself, thinking when I do this at this state, what is the generational curse that is opened. Don't look for the chemistry lab kind of approach. If you add this chemical in this,
it's not a formula.
It's not a formula.
Yeah.
And
you are the formula.
We are the chemical also.
Yeah, exactly.
We are the ones who are going to burn up. We are also the burners. We are also test tubes, everything, right? You will not be able to compare your path with anybody else. You could have the most silent sadhana for 10 years. And then the 11th year, you could be the guru of thousands. Until then, nobody would have known your name. Those are all real life stories I'm speaking.
It's a non-linear path.
So not just non-linear, it is unpredictable. Unpredictable, absolutely. You never know. You could, at your age of 50, you could end up writing books that are going to help the next so many generations of people. So don't judge, right? You never know what kripa is unlocking and what curse is being burnt off. Have Matra Bhav towards your entire family. That's the most important thing, because they are in specific stages of karmic burning which is happening right now, and it is your own extensions that is there as your own family. Attain shunyata with it and understand that why there is a struggling marriage, why there is a struggling sister, why there is a struggling brothers. Look at it and attain shunyata, and when look at them with Matra Bhav, you will definitely find that sadhana is much faster and accelerates much faster. Anything you reject in Prakriti around you is rejection of Kali.
Thank you so much.
Jai Ma.
Jai Ma.
Bhairava Kali ke namostute Bhadrakali Dakshina Kali Aghora Kali Smashan Kali Adya महाकाली आद्या महाकाली काली गीता काली गीता दक्षिणा काली काली के नमोस्तुते भद्रकाली दक्षिणा काली अघोर स्मशान